We should be live. Are we live?
Let me go refresh.
We're gonna do it live, as the man Bill O'Reilly said.
I'll write it. I love that clip. Bill O'Reilly's terrible, but that clip is amazing.
I love that too. Are we live? I think so.
Yep.
Are
Looks
we?
like we're good on YouTube.
Why can't I ever see it? I never see it. It doesn't tell me. YouTube doesn't want to tell me that I'm live, apparently.
You got to go to your own channel, stalk your own front page.
Okay.
Real Terminal fan.
All right. Welcome everybody to our regular Sunday broadcast where we engage in hijinks, as I hopefully probably spelled in the description here. I'm joined with my soul teammate here, literally soul, S-O-U-L, and the other meaning. My soul teammate, Toasted Zergling. Good afternoon, Toasted Zergling. How are you doing?
It's an honor to serve here. There's so much homework I wanted to do for the stream that I didn't do, but it's all good. We'll just wing it, and it'll be a fantastic, fun time.
All right. I actually, briefly, I meant to highlight you, but this last OBS update messed up my MIDI switcher that I use for scene switching, so I actually highlighted our special guest, our secret guest. Hopefully I didn't ruin any surprises for people. We've got.
It was just such a brief sneak on the stream. It was beautiful. It was just like a tease.
So is this the Rocky Stadium?
Yep, that's a Mile High Stadium over there.
And the Shane Company sponsored. So.
Yeah. This is just the first picture I grabbed off of Google. This is actually a pretty old picture now that I look at it. Like in the top right over there is what they call like the rock pile. That's where you can get the ridiculously cheap tickets over there. I have split season tickets with a bunch of people, so I'm along the third base line. So like you can actually see where I would sit. It'd be like 20 rows back on the third base line over there. It's a fun spot.
Also with us today, who had his camera off, Mr. Diggles McGee.
Look at that hat! Oh my goodness!
He's got a little hat on today. I'm going to have a hard time switching without this thing. Digby, can you tell us a little bit about your hat? Oh, no, I had a business proposition for everybody, but it looks like people didn't show up, and I want to get this business going. And it's related to the hat, but maybe we'll get to it next week.
Are you going to become a hat salesman? Are you a Mad Hatter? Is this like a restaurant endeavor? Should I read into this? I don't know.
I think it's best that we just leave it for now because I don't think Digby's at all prepared to speak on the issue. And so, man, I miss my MIDI switcher. Let me grab my MIDI switcher here and see if it's working at all. It's a second here.
Man, you're just teasing us left and right. Special guests coming in and out. Digby's special hat coming in and out. You're just teasing us today, Terminal Mode.
Yes. So today we will be joined also by famous YouTube maker Justin T. Brown of the If Only channel. I don't think he's ever been on the show before. He will be joining us any moment now. He should be popping in. Hopefully, if we don't have our usual technical difficulties.
He said he's going to be 15 minutes late, and knowing Justin, that'll turn into 20, 30, 40.
He said he needed to get an energy drink. I'm running. I got up at 10 a.m. today, which was extremely early for me if you know my schedule. But I know that I have these videos to premiere, and maybe we should do that right now. Maybe we'll premiere. I had some people talk to me about like what my workflow is like. Actually, I should really share these when Justin is around because they're kind of about him. So.
Just teasing us back and forth. Another yank back Terminal. Oh, man.
So
building up suspense.
We got to let people trickle in here too because when I said that the stream was starting at 4, actually it's 3 PST, 11 UTC. Do you use Universal Time Coordinated Time?
When I'm programming,
you do?
Not in real life. Yeah.
I think it's useful if you're trying to coordinate with people throughout the world as far as showing up to your live stream if you want to have more than 4 viewers.
Oh yeah, no, for real. Like, yeah, especially when we're getting people from like Sweden and Australia where they have the crazy half an hour time zones and stuff. Yeah,
that's where
actually you're in Arizona. Arizona is its own time zone. Like, what?
We're an anomaly. TERMCAST is most popular in Australia. That's where we're looking to go here. So
really?
We're going to transfer the show to Australia. Do some live things from the outback. Maybe do some of that. What was the Coyote? Who's the guy who gets stung by the insects? Coyote Johnson or Coyote whatever. Coyote Peterson. Coyote Peterson. We're going to do some live insect stingings. So we got those to look forward to. Anything new with you other than any fancy dreams lately?
Ooh, that's a great question. Fancy dreams, probably if I were to meditate it on some more. The most exciting thing going on in my life is that I applied to adopt another dog, and it seems like I would likely be getting the other dog. So I've been coordinating with that. I will be getting a second chubby Boston Terrier, so I'm super excited about
Congratulations. Is it rescue or just looking to get another one?
Yeah, no, it's a rescue situation. Like I've been very picky about trying to get another animal. Like now that I'm unemployed, I have slightly more time in my hands, so I can actually take care of another animal. And plus, Jelly gets a little annoying at night. But yeah, I did not want to go through the whole puppy phase all over again. And I wanted a Boston Terrier, so I was very picky and had been stalking like the adoption forums. And this is a senior Boston, like between 7 and 8. They don't know the exact age, but yeah, super mellow, super chill is the demeanor. So I think it should be like a fairly harmonious household. Jelly is a pretty shy, calm dog, so I want one that kind of matches her temperament. So I was looking for that, but yeah.
Turtle Time says my voice is echoing. I had my desktop audio. Did I fix it or am I still echoing? I think I see 2 on. Hopefully this fixes the issue. Hopefully you can still hear me. And good afternoon, Turtle Time. It's good to see you. As you can see, Toasted Zergling there is he's broadcasting live right now from Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado.
Colorado. You gotta emphasize the rad if you really want to pretend like you're a local. No.
Yeah, both my parents, like my dad went to college at Colorado State. Actually, both my parents went to Colorado State.
You got some Buffaloes gear up in there? Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. They hardly ever talk about that. Okay, so thank you, Turtle Time. You're a lovely person for commenting on that and helping me fix it. It would have been terrible to go the entire show with that echo and have it run. Now I've got a Kristi Noem video that I'm going to debut, and Turtle Time, it's very dark and it involves harm to animals. It's not reveling in it, but it's pointing out the enormous harm that she caused animals and how she was appointed to Homeland Security Director, probably because she was willing to be brutal and inhumane like that. So when I debut this video, I don't know what your personal sensibilities are. It is a comedy video, but it's darkly comic. So when the video debuts, you can consider watching it or passing over it. Gonna wait till Justin shows up to do that, though. Justin T. Brown will be joining us. He's supposed to be here in 3 minutes, and we're going to hold him to that. So if he doesn't get here in 3 minutes, he's no longer allowed on the show.
I think we should troll him somehow. I think he deserves a pranking of some sort. Like I think we got to get him back for.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
We were supposed to be joined by our lovely co-host Panthapire, but she has been playing too much Civilization 7. She injured her shoulder playing so much of the game, and also I think she's probably just really, really tired from staying up all night playing rather than being prepared for the show.
Yep.
So, and I was told that I don't razz my good friends enough, so that's why I am really going to lean into the fact
that was your version of razzing.
All right. Well, she did say that she injured herself, and I'm making light of what could be a serious, debilitating injury, but probably isn't, because she just didn't want to show up for the show today. she's
yeah, she didn't. She was avoiding the hard part that's coming later. We all know it's just people look for excuses. It's fine. It's fine. We still love and respect her.
Well, maybe it's time, even though Justin's not here yet. Maybe it's time to bring her on. Everybody, what do you thought? Should we bring her on?
I mean, we could kill some more time. What's going on in Terminal's life besides cranking out videos at 10 o'clock in the morning? Has anything new and exciting been going on in Terminal Mode land?
Not really. I spent most of my week just making videos is actually like a pleasurable experience for me. It kind of has elements of programming and video gaming that I enjoy. Like the mathematics of it is actually quite fun. Unless I imagine you had a job doing it and you were paid and you were like, you have to edit this video, which I would actually hate doing, but if you're making videos for yourself, it's actually a rather fun thing to do. So I spent my time working on this Kristi Noem video. It took longer than I had it finished midweek, but it took longer than I thought because I had all these polishing touches, like having to put the chirons on there and the jokes for the chirons. So that was basically my week, was just dabbling, waking up and messing around with this video for most of the week, which is pretty sad.
Projects ever go faster than you anticipate? I feel like with all these creative endeavors, they always take longer than anticipated. I've never heard them been like, oh, it went faster than anticipated.
Well, this video, it did kind of go pretty quickly. And I made, like, in the interim, I was like, well, I'm going to debut this video. This is the first video I've done in a while. And I thought maybe I should try to promote it a little bit. So I made a little commercial for it. I guess we could play the commercial for
nice.
Let's play the commercial for the upcoming show here.
The trailer tease.
Gonna have to see here. Go to my channels, so bear with me. All right, so here's the preview. Let's try to drag people into or trick people, I guess it would be fair enough to say, to come and watch the show. I'm going to turn up my bit rate for the show here, and let me figure out how to stream here. Where am I? Okay, so here we go. Going to share. Let me know if it's up. Is it up?
It is up, and we got BB Tech in chat, and for BB in chat. But
all right, BB's here. That's another person we were waiting for. And BB's driving, so BB's not going to be able to see the video, but I guess it works.
The audio works.
Yeah. So here is the preview that I put. I posted this to Twitter and to the YouTube channel, hoping to get people to come and watch this exciting video. So now the people who saw the preview are coming, and I'm forcing them to watch the preview again. So I'm sorry. I'm probably a terrible person.
When it comes to immigration, Kristi knows there's more than one way to skin a cat. She's going to kill two birds with one stone, and she's really good when it comes to shooting dogs in the head and then chucking them into gravel pits.
Okay. Hopefully,
I feel like that's even different from when I saw it last time. Did you edit that trailer as well?
No, it's the same that was posted to the Discord and everything. So hopefully, I hope the audio and everything played on YouTube okay. Because
the video looked fine. I didn't double listen, but yeah, it looked good.
Yeah. So anyway, I was curious. I posted it to Twitter, and I got like 6 people that were like, "Hey, we'll come and watch your video." So
it was too excited about it.
It was like I thought this is a really good idea. I'll make a commercial. I'll post it to Twitter, and then I'll get my friend Chudsley. Chudsley has like 115,000 followers, so I had Chudsley repost it, and like nobody interacted with it. It was so disappointing. And my account, like my personal account, has like 900 followers, and everybody who responded to it was somebody that follows me. So apparently you can't just Justin, I sent it to you already. It's in your direct message from me. If you go in there, I can copy it again here, I guess. I think. I don't know. Try the link let me know if you get the link in the and just our personal ones, not the group chat. So let's see here. Anyways, I that video was like quick to make, and I'm messing around with a bunch of different tools to do lip syncing and whatnot. So it was more of just more practice. Everything that I do is practice, trying to hone an art form that I can kind of eventually, maybe 10 years from now, right when I'm on my deathbed, I'll make a video that I'll finally be proud of. So
goals.
Yeah. Justin. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link again. So everybody's gonna have to hold off. I'm gonna switch it off to Toasted Zergling here. So I'm gonna hand it off.
Nice. You needed the spot starter. You know, your main person on the rotation had a late injury. You needed to call me up from AAA. It was all good. Oh, nice. I'm the chat entertainment for a while. All right. So chat, I'll tell you about the video idea that I have in progress. I know you're all waiting for the next Bachelor Brian video meal. So I'll be happy to report that I recorded some of the footage today and I made the meal and it was tasty. So I think as long as I didn't screw up the film too much, I think the video idea should be coming through. And what is the video idea, you ask? It's Bachelor Brian tries to impress a Bumble date. So we're gonna try to impress a Bumble date with a home cooked meal. It'll be good stuff, and I'm sure you're all looking forward to it. Do I have a channel? Actually, I guess I guess it's Toasted Zergling. I don't know. Yeah. I should just be Toasted. I can't imagine there's anybody that's Toasted Zergling besides me, but could be wrong. Toasted Zergling is kind of nice in that there aren't. No, I am just at Toasted Zergling. I probably just got it immediately. I remember on Facebook when there was like the great land grab for your names. I got Chubby Walrus. That was what I staked my claim on.
Chubby Walrus sounds like an Xbox gamer tag. Like one of the random things they just give you. All right, so I'm gonna hide Digby here for a bit to make room for Justin. Hopefully, I did send him the link. Hopefully, he comes on soon. Digby, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to let you go for a bit. We've got.
And get your pitch working, and I'm sure you'll have it refined, and we'll be investing in your restaurant in no time.
Exactly. So, Digby, thanks for. Actually, I guess you're still right next to me. You're just unable to speak for some reason when you're next to me. I don't know why that is. You just clam up and you don't have anything to say. You want to comment on that? All right. So
is this supposed to be like the sidekick from Johnny Quest? Like that's what I keep thinking of. Like,
who was the sidekick? No. His hat's actually a taco shop hat. Like an In-N-Out burger hat. So that was part of not to spoil it, but that's I think he wants to be a restaurateur. So, and he really had aspirations here to get that going. Justin, if you're out there, I put it on. You can't hear me or Digby now.
Oh, that's tragic.
Can't hear. So I'm unable to be heard right now. Maybe when I switch to Digby, he's not heard.
Digby was hogging up all the audio channels.
Digby, when I switched to Digby, he's actually quiet by himself. So apparently nobody heard anything he said. So
Except for me.
Thanks for that OBS update too, by the way. The OBS really messed up. So poor Digby. Anyways. Thanks again. Turtle Time, you're going to be my audio checker. I don't know what the professional term for that is, but I'm sure there is a term. It's not gaffer. I think the gaffer is actually the person who puts audio in, not the person who checks audio, but it could be a gaffer. Who knows? We're waiting for everybody. I'm sorry for the holdup for this amazing premiere video, but we can all blame the If Only channel.
Yeah, Justin T. Brown, who's supposed to be here at 4:15.
Yeah.
Which time zone was that, JTB?
Yep. I'm going to check on Discord and see. I sent him the link again. Okay. I wondered, what do you think? Oh, there he is. Yes. Was his name Haji? Haji? I think his name's Haji.
I don't remember.
Not at all. Questionable. The pro term is fluffer. Yes, the fluffer.
That's perfect. I know more about Johnny Quest from the Venture Brothers. I don't think I ever actually watched the show. I just saw it parodied so much that I learned things about it. Like, yeah, The Simpsons has taught me much about pop culture as well. Never observing it directly, just knowing the jokes.
So Justin T. Brown, where are you? Are you even in the chat right now? I don't know. Digby had some. Oh my. If Digby's not working, if his audio is not working. What was that?
Oh, that was my knee hitting my desk. I sit kind of funny, so my knees are up here.
Okay. No Justin still.
Justin.
Anywho, I guess maybe it's time to bring her on.
Just unroll it, unleash it.
I'm gonna bring our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Kristi Noem. So here she is, and she's ready and willing to answer questions in the chat. So people have questions for her. Let's see here. She did have some things she wanted to address us. Again, my video switcher is missing. So, Kristi, it's good to have you here.
This show is pathetic. You people are an embarrassment. None of you have the razor-sharp intellect to ask me the important probing questions like Dave Rubin or Tim Pool can.
What the heck?
That was amazingly aggressive out the gate.
Yeah, it was I don't think she was supposed to. I don't think that was supposed to be her starter. I think she was supposed to. Kristi, do you want to try to start again with us?
It's wonderful to see everyone here on TERMCAST IRL in person. I can't wait to see you all again in Guantanamo.
Whoa.
Nice.
Okay. That was a little less aggressive. I think she was supposed to work up to that. Were you supposed to work up to that, Kristi?
Does a bear shit in the woods and then get shot because I saw it shitting?
Okay.
A bear only shits if you see it.
Okay. Let's see here. Got to switch. Kristi's got some stuff going. So if we're going to open up the chat to anybody has any questions for Kristi, let us know. And look at the tree, says Venture Brothers. And yeah, C Lab 2020 was pretty great too.
Yeah, well, until like the first 12 episodes, until like the main guy died, like I felt like it got weird after that.
Well, all those shows are just supposed to be weird. I think they're supposed to be shows that Soners watch. Isn't that right, Kristi?
Does a bear shit in the woods and then get shot because I saw it shitting?
Okay. Anywho, again, to anybody late joining the show, Panther Pyre was supposed to be here, and she really keeps the show going. She's really the director of this show, and without her, things just aren't the same.
I don't know why Brandy is bothering to hide behind this Panther Pyre pseudonym. Homeland Security has all of her details. Let's go, Brandy.
Jeez. Okay. Kristi, I don't think it's cool to be doxing people who are working on the show. There he is. There he is. There he is, Justin.
Oh, he's there.
Oh
We
my
got
gosh.
the mad scientist.
It's a great opportunity to see you in person, Justin T.
Oh
Brown.
no.
I've seen quite a bit of your Communist Party
Oh no.
online.
Okay.
Too many Kristi Noems at once. I had the live stream playing plus the app playing. Oh my god.
Kristi, we got our first question from chat. Do you have a preference for the gravel type in your pits?
I'm going to have to push back against that and say it's not true.
That was not. Let's see, Kristi. Can you try that again?
Just like I told my kids when they pleaded with me not to shoot cricket in the head, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Okay, Justin. Welcome. You look a little tired. Have you had a hectic day?
I'm in dad mode, man. I think I might need to quit and join back in. I can't even. Yeah, I think I'm running into some technical difficulties still.
Okay, we'll see.
Poor Justin. I like your ruling.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
No problem.
Just keep going without me.
How do you think we'll perform without Justin, Kristi?
I don't think anyone would argue against that.
Okay. Kristi, I haven't really, I wasn't even really expecting you to show up today. So I don't have a lot of questions for you, but can you tell us a little bit about your role as governor prior to becoming Secretary of Homeland Security?
If an animal is processed into usable parts or product for red-blooded Americans, what good is it?
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, in your role as governor, did you accomplish anything significant?
When I was governor of South Dakota, our state rendered and processed more animals into glue than all of the other states combined.
Okay. Thanks. What else can you tell us about your home state?
I don't think anyone in South Dakota has put down more horses than I have.
Okay. Very fascinating stuff. This is a compelling conversation, and I can see why we have a total of 6 people watching it, including it's probably the entire show, the cast of the show here. So, Kristi, again, she's open for questions from anybody out there. She's highly interactive, this version of Kristi.
My dad said something to me when I was a little girl that I will never forget. He said, Kristi, you're never going to run with the big dogs if somebody shoots you when you're a pup.
Okay. I'm not sure that's how the saying goes. I thought it was piss like a pup, but I guess that's
the saying. I didn't know if there was anything about that was legitimate, but okay.
There's
Kristi,
no better feeling than digging a massive gravel pit with a backhoe and then imagining how many animals will meet their demise in it.
Yeah, brutal, Kristi. I'm not sure that we're supposed to have a family-friendly show here, but bringing on somebody who killed a puppy in a fit of rage probably was not the best idea if you want to engage with a family-friendly audience. So,
Kristi, is it true that you've been making music videos on the side? I've been hearing rumors about that. Do you have
I don't think anyone would argue against that.
Whoops.
There's simply no denying it.
Oh.
Does a bear shit in the woods and then get shot because I saw it shitting?
That's
Frequently.
a go-to expression. I like it.
Does a bear get shit in the woods and get shot because you saw it shooting? I think that's a familiar phrase. So, Justin.
Okay. It's working now.
All right.
We're good. I finally figured it out, I think.
I'm going to be...
Am I coming through clear?
You sound great. You look great, although you look haggard and tired. Dad life is running you down, clearly.
Yeah, she's pretty energetic now, so it's constant chasing. She's walking. So it's constantly just scooping things out of her hands that she picks up and saving things from breaking.
Yeah. So other than that, how are you doing, Justin? And again, I was going to introduce you to the live chat, but apparently everybody probably already knows you. But our guest this week is Justin T. Brown of the If Only channel on YouTube. Follow him at YouTube/@ If Only Timeline, or If Only, is that right? If Only.
I think If Only Timeline.
I think it's
I think so.
Timeline. I think so. You can still probably find him if you search for Justin T. Brown.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So,
think it's
although
fun.
there are probably a lot of other far more entertaining Justin T. Browns on YouTube, if we're honest.
I reached #1 on Google,
Really?
which was a goal of mine. So I achieved the goal.
Well, congratulations.
I beat like a bunch of doctors and I think a baseball player.
Well, awesome. I don't think I'll ever be the real terminal mode, because terminal mode is like I got to fight against all the Unix geeks and whatnot. So
You can do it if you double down. Eventually, like
They
the idea
control
of
the
terminal
internet,
mode will go out of existence, right? And then it'll just be you left.
no, the hardcore
No,
nerds
you don't
are
think so?
always going to stick with terminal mode, right?
Oh God,
Isn't that right?
Nerds.
Twisted.
Yeah, the chances, he's gonna pry that from the cold dead hands. The internet is created by these nerds. They're not giving up their keys to the kingdom. They're not giving up their root access. They're not using a GUI. Come on, they're going terminal mode.
So Kristi was in the Kristi is now in the Trump administration. She made the leap from governor of South Dakota to the Trump administration. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got there, Kristi?
I used to look like a fairly average housewife before Trump, but to get the job of Homeland Security Director, I felt I needed to change my look so he would find me more attractive. This job requires lots of makeup and Botox.
Very true.
I appreciate the candor. I wish I could switch to her, but I'm not. Like I said, my OBS said, "You want to update?" And I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to be a problem." Right before my live stream, so I updated OBS, and not only did it replace all my old profiles, it like screwed up my MIDI controller for the scene switching. So the show's not going to look nearly as professional as it has in the past, which is incredibly professional.
Right on.
So are we ready to premiere this video? I think we've kept these 7 people waiting long enough.
Which is nice.
We should watch it, but I think I might have to treat this like a podcast because for whatever reason, I think it's my laptop once again overheating. I can hear it crying. I have an ice pack on it, but I can't see you speaking. So I can hear you fine. I don't know if I might.
Doesn't sound.
I don't know what's going on. It's like, don't ever buy Apple products.
Yes,
just don't do it.
That is.
I mean, like, they're overpriced junk, and they look great. They have great UIs, but they're fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, and they don't work when you need them to. If you put any pressure on these things, they crack. What happened was, Mike, the air intake on these things, on these Mac laptops, is really narrow, and you can't get a lot of good suction in there to cool things down. So if you have a cat like I do, I got mine clean like a month ago. If you have a cat like I do, within a month it'll be full of hair again, and you can't use your laptop. So. Mhm. Yeah, I mean they look cute as hell. Like I love my setup; it looks cute, but as far as usability, nah. So I put my headphones on so I can hear really well because I need to like really focus on the auditory experience.
very lifelike. Let's see. We've got. Oh, she was muted.
I think maybe when you bring yourself on, it mutes her or something.
No, it's my scene switching. It's because so people just saw her, but they couldn't hear all her comedic antics. Yeah. Sorry, people. I can turn her back. Let's see.
Will not be buying a mic stand. You know what? I'm offended by that because I do have a mic stand. You're seeing it in frame currently.
Where's the mic stand?
His ruler, his clear ruler with a paper clip or something. Oh, I know. That's just.
That's my mic.
All right. Well, in the interest of future muting of people, I'm going to stick with the four view slot here with Kristi and the four of us. Or I guess the six of us. I'm sorry. We got Squatchberg and Digby here, but I'm ready to play this video if you guys are ready for it. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. So here it is. Again, trigger warning. Makes light of Kristi Noem's violence against animals. So if that bothers you, you might not want to watch it.
Wait, Terminal, before you hit play.
Yeah.
You're 100% sure that you can hear us during the playback, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know the boss wanted me to focus on that.
We got a note.
Yeah.
Boss.
Okay. So here we go. I'm pulling up. Whoops, that's not the right one. Let's see here. It's going to take a second to get the right screen. Okay, here we go. Everybody let me know when you can see it.
Let's see it.
Do we have it?
5 minutes. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be. This is it. All right, here we go. Let's see how it goes.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem attended raids in the Bronx this morning to hunt down and kill the pets of undocumented immigrants. Major Garrett rode along as Secretary Noem and federal agents slaughtered a variety of helpless animals in front of their owners. Secretary Noem had instructed her team to kill as many puppies, kittens, and cute little teddy bear hamsters as possible before sunrise. Major joins us now. Major, good morning.
Good morning. The Trump administration has a goal to kill 500 animals here in New York over a week-long period.
Kristi knows there's more than one way to skin a cat. She's going to kill two birds with one stone, and she's really good when it comes to shooting dogs in the head.
We joined Secretary Kristi Noem on the first day of Operation Gravel Pit.
The targets today are Anderson Pacheco's 2 dogs and his daughter's crested gecko.
Dozens of federal agents gathered with us in New York City before dawn, with targeted plans to kill the pets of immigrants solely out of hatred and spite. A convoy of SUVs rolled through the Bronx, each vehicle filled with various tools to kill animals in a variety of ways. Every kind of rifle and handgun imaginable. Numerous bladed weapons like hunting knives, scalpels, and machetes. There were boxes and boxes full of ingestible poisons and countless syringes at the ready with lethal injections. They even brought along a couple of those pneumatic spike-through-the-brain devices Javier Bardem used in No Country for Old Men. At this last residence, Secretary Noem found a cute baby tortoise that she smashed to death with a hammer in front of 3 small children.
Those kids are never going to forget what I did to Speedy. They're going to be begging their parents to return to Guatemala, where their next tortoise will be safely out of my reach.
Many other pets in the Bronx that morning were also too slow to evade Secretary Noem's rampaging bloodlust. They too suffered similar disgusting ends that were really hard for me to watch.
How many more of these animals will you destroy violently this morning as secretary?
I hope a lot.
Most New Yorkers are kind and decent people who don't believe that animals should be shot in the head and tossed into gravel pits. But prior to being confirmed as Secretary of Homeland Security, that's exactly what Kristi did to her puppy Cricket, her family's goat, and countless other animals she became annoyed with having to take proper care of. Secretary Noem remains resolute that killing animals is not only enjoyable, but it can also be used as a deterrent.
I definitely enjoy the look on an animal's face as it takes its final breath. But the best part of the job is seeing the owner's reaction. When they see me stuff a firecracker up the butt of their rain frog, they seriously consider whether staying in this country is a good idea.
This man initially remained calm as Kristi threw his cat up against a wall and dumped all of the fish in his saltwater aquarium all over the floor. But when Kristi bit the head off of his parakeet Peaches, he lost his cool and had to be detained.
Your bird was delicious.
Now he'll likely face deportation and haunting memories of a beloved and now deceased parakeet. A parakeet who loved nothing more than playing with her little mirror and rocking back and forth in her beaded swing.
So is it your operating assumption that some of these people you describe should have all of their pets killed in front of them in the most violent and horrific way possible?
These guys are dirtbags. Even their cutest guinea pigs should be stepped on in front of them.
Although none of the agents killed anywhere near the number of dogs as Secretary Noem did that morning, she was still more than happy to pose for a photo op with them. They let our cameras in, too.
You want cameras at these events, don't you? You want the entire country to bear witness to your boundless cruelty and heartlessness.
I want everyone to remember that I killed my own dog, Cricket. I want them to fear that their dog will be next. But you gotta give me the dogs to shoot and the gravel pits to make it happen.
Yesterday, around 90 federal officers killed 213 dogs, more than half of them put down personally by Secretary Noem. The secretary did express disappointment that her team only killed half as many cats and even fewer exotic birds, rodents, reptiles, and weird-ass amphibians.
Major, what exactly did Secretary Noem do with that number of animal carcasses?
All of the carcasses were slung into a garbage truck and then transported to an undisclosed location in nearby New Jersey, where Secretary Noem personally chucked them into a gravel pit that she felt suitable for their proper disposal.
Major, do you think we will ever see justice for Cricket? Or will that poor little puppy's murder remain a painful reminder that we have more horrors to come?
Let's be honest. Killing these cute animals in front of their owners sends a message. Whether you have a cute Boston Terrier puppy or a cat that you made an Instagram account for, our new Homeland Security Director, Kristi Noem, will not hesitate to terminate your beloved animal with extreme prejudice.
There's so much more to talk about here, but we'll keep covering it for sure.
We will.
Major, thank you very much.
Thanks to everyone who supports us at patreon.com.
We have a commercial.
Mode. Thank you, Hiking Hippie, None Superior, and Panther Pirate. Special shout outs to Not Steve. Also, thanks to everyone on our Discord. We love you, and we appreciate all of your input and support.
Yeah.
Okay. So there it was. Kristi.
Oh my God.
Wow. I thought it was going to be a music video based on the preview.
No.
I did not expect that
not at
whole news episode. That's hilarious.
This needs to be a 24-hour news
Cricket,
network.
I
This is
hated
the
that dog. I'm glad she's dead.
Whoa.
clearly.
Oh, the network thing. Yeah, I like
it
doing
needs to be a 24-hour. You need to make a 24-hour video.
the Onion
out of
News
those.
Network type setup.
No. Just like just make a 24-hour block of programming.
Yeah, forever AI generated content of just the same joke of gravel pits and Kristi Noem being heartless. Yeah, it won't get old.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at with the video is the enormous cruelty. Like it just seems like everything the Trump administration does is to hurt people and make it harder and harder for anybody who's struggling. And so I thought, that her as Homeland Security Director, what could be the cruelest, most awful thing that she would do? And then I just ran with it and tried to really exaggerate the degree.
It's so disturbing to see her nod and be like, the cruelest, most evil thing. She's like, yeah, not terrible. Like,
it's amazing that she hasn't realized the sign she's sitting in front of too. She's a very gracious security director.
she can't look behind her. She doesn't know.
She realized it. She's the one who came up with it. She's proud.
Is that right, Kristi? You can't actually look behind you?
The answer to your question is clearly yes.
I like how she's labeled Tim too.
Is she? I don't think she's not. Is she? I think she's labeled Tim in the green room, but not on.
No, you can see it on YouTube too.
Oh, really?
It is tiny.
I guess that shows
tiny Tim.
Who that spot is normally for. Apparently, I've ruined the entire show because people weren't aware who she is with that. So.
She had that handle before Governor. Yeah, that's her original gamer tag. Yeah. Facebook.com.
Chubby Walrus. You're Chubby Walrus on Facebook?
Probably. It's been so long since I've been on Facebook that I'm assuming it's still me.
I'd never signed up for Facebook because I didn't want to talk to anybody from my high school.
Yeah,
So.
that's still me. I have a job from 3 jobs ago.
What job was that, if you don't mind sharing?
When I was still in San Francisco at Nitro Software.
Cool.
Sweet.
So, Justin, how's your new job coming along? Oh, sorry, I interrupted your thought. Why don't you continue your thought?
Oh, I was just gonna say that this is a work of art, man, as always. There's two. I mean, I have 2 sets of thoughts. One set of thoughts is like BTS stuff. Like, I'm just always so amazed and so proud of the work you do, and how your skill set just keeps improving, and you keep coming up with stuff that I couldn't even imagine. And I really appreciate the level of depth that you go into. And I think that what half of the comedy of this video is that it's 5 minutes long, and you kind of start to forget that you're actually watching something fake. And that's when your brain really starts to get messy. When you really let yourself fall into it as if it's real. And sometimes it takes a little bit. But around like 2 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm just watching an actual news broadcast. And that's when things get really twisted up in here. So I just really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the flattery. I think
you
might be the only.
I think everyone would agree here.
Really?
I think everyone would agree here. Yeah, Chad, what do you think? I think it's amazing.
I appreciate it. I also appreciated how you targeted many of us. Like Turtle got his specific call out. She was killing Boston Terriers. Like you went for chat. You went for these 6 viewers right here. This viewer.
I just was trying to find like the cutest animals possible for the most part. I ended the video with the shout out to you guys. But baby tortoises are like the cutest thing.
Oh yeah, that little frog too.
My dad was rehabilitating baby tortoises because they take them out of the desert because they get hepatitis and they infect the other population and they're endangered species. So they were breeding these at the school that he was working at. They were breeding desert tortoises, and the baby desert tortoises. I don't know if you can find a cuter animal than a baby tortoise. So not even a baby walrus. I think imagine baby walrus is probably pretty ugly.
They're very cute. They're so cute.
Well,
baby walruses.
What was the animal? What was the animal you zoomed in on its butt? Was that a frog?
It's a rain frog.
That was pretty funny. I remember
video that let's see.
This is where we need Pantha. Pantha would be pulling up all the cute animal videos on the side.
The show's been ruined by OBS and Pantha this week. Whoops. Sorry. I've got this. I'm gonna play this desert rain frog video for people who haven't seen it.
Can you play Desert Rose by Sting?
I thought the same exact thing, Justin. I was about to start singing it. Like it took a little.
Thank you.
You guys are like, this is, I don't know. YouTube always like tries to find something to demonetize my stream. Anyways, here's the frog that was in the video. I'm going to show this.
See that cute little tush.
There it is.
Oh, I thought you were going to show the butt shot.
I can. I'm going to show this.
But sometimes more unexpected sounds grab our attention. This desert rain frog. Squeaking viral sensation.
Wow.
11 million hits and counting. It sounds like a dog toy. But actually, this is the sonorous war cry of a very angry frog.
He is a cutie patootie, and that's the one. And that's the one that Kristi stomped on.
Yeah, and she put the firecracker.
Yeah,
and that's like a that's a
classic.
Beavis and Butthead stuff. Yeah,
that's a callback to the original Beavis and Butthead short that Mike Judge made. Wasn't, or did they do something else horrific?
They did Frog Baseball. And
Frog Baseball.
They did that one too. Both of them are brutal. But yeah.
My brothers, when I was a kid, my brothers. I lived in the country, so we had like a little area with like goats and cows and stuff, and it was surrounded by electric fence. And we also had a pond full of frogs, and my brothers would go catch frogs out of the pond and hang them on the electric fence and like shock them to death. Very like Kristi Noem, Kristi Noem would really appreciate that, I think.
Little teenage boys that slightly makes more sense, but
I think like GWB, that was one of the things that came out against him too, was somebody was saying that he tortured frogs when he was a kid. And it still didn't prevent him from having a second term.
I had another buddy that would walk around, actually related to this video because of the machete. It reminds me. I had another buddy that he had a pond in front of his house, and he would go out and walk around the pond and find frogs and kill them with the machete. Blah, blah.
Jesus.
It's like kids in the country, they need this is why people in the country are so fucked up sometimes. Because we have nothing to do. Yeah, well, that's the only entertainment. So we gotta provide services or something to people that live in the country.
Start a bonfire or something, burn something. That's what I would do.
Well, we do that too. But I mean, there's so much time to kill, and unfortunately, that time to kill ends up turning into animals to kill. Yeah.
I did not physically kill the frogs myself, but I would basically inadvertently kill them because I would like to throw them in the middle of a lake, and then as they tried to swim to shore, they'd inevitably get eaten by some fish that's in the middle of the lake. So I'm not that much better, but at least mine fed something.
Yeah, you were part of an ecosystem.
I hope that Turtle Time didn't leave over the turtle. I hope that was just a joke because it wasn't a jab.
Turtle Time unsubscribed immediately.
We'll have to check because it wasn't
shut down the computer, threw it out the window.
I include tortoises also. Tortoise is my mom's favorite animal. She collects little tortoise figurines and whatnot. So she won't watch the video either. My mom won't watch the video. She refuses to watch anything that has Donald Trump in it or anybody in there. She just can't stand what's going on in the world anymore. She's like a flamingo with its head stuck in the sand.
Wait, is that a flamingo?
Yeah.
Or is that an ostrich?
I think ostriches maybe do it too, but flamingos are known for putting their heads in the sand, aren't they?
I think it's more of I think it's an urban legend more than anything too, though. But
I think flamingos stick their head in the water to eat the shrimps.
Flamingos are pink, Justin. They're pink.
Now, why are they pink?
Because they eat the shrimps.
Yeah, they're pink because they
riddle me that, buddy.
Yeah. And isn't the same thing that's in Red 40 or whatever? Those things that they eat.
Yeah, shrimp butts. Red 40 is made of shrimp butts.
I'm glad to see Turtle is still here. So, and I had to plea. So I would have requested that Toasted leave Mile High Stadium right now and try to go and offer my sincere and personal apologies for that. But I just wanted to emphasize how mean Kristi Noem is, because I think that when she killed the dog, and she put it in the book, it was intended to be a statement that she's capable of making these tough decisions. And I think it was an appeal to Trump. And I think that he didn't like the negative publicity, but I do think he likes the idea of that sort of cruelty. I think that there's no doubt that he picked her because of her cruelty, not in spite of the cruelty.
I feel like it's been a well-known documented thing where Trump voters want Trump to hurt the right people. I feel like that's an explicit goal that's been surveyed many times. So I think being able to do the right thing, make Sophie's choices.
I mean, that's all that QAnon. That's what QAnon is. That's one of Trump's cults is QAnon, and that's what QAnon is at its core. It's the fantasy that Trump is personally gonna use his magic powers to round up everybody you don't like and kill them on TV.
Basically,
that's the core of the cult. Everything else is just window dressing, but that's the center heart. That's the beating heart of it.
Bob Almighty says, "Where's his cheap eggs, Kristi? Trump promised on day one."
Yeah, Kristi, where are the eggs? Where are the egg prices? Why is Trader Joe's still limiting me to 1 dozen per day?
I think you've raised Kristi's ire, Toasted, with that, so you better watch out.
I've heard quite a lot about Toasted Zergling. My file on this dude is fascinating. Apparently, he's a lucid dreamer.
That's the worst you got on me? Nice.
I don't know. So, anyways,
yeah. I think mission accomplished, buddy. I think, you know, if you want to convey the message that she's a cruel, heartless person, I think you did it. I'm pretty, you know, unfortunately, I think we're starting to see that the animals were like the warm-up round, that they're the appetizer. When you're sending lots of people down to Guantanamo fucking Bay, that's known as our, you know, out of the country torture facility. You send them there by the thousands. Yeah, I mean, watch that video and replace it with animals. I mean, replace the animals with people.
Yeah,
that's.
I've only got a limited time to be with you guys today. I left a bunch of puppies at the office I need to shoot.
Oh, really? So, Kristi, I'm probably the worst guest we've had on so far, and we've had a lot of pretty terrible guests.
She looks like you ever watch like movies on Lifetime or Hallmark, and they have like a DEA agent or something, and it's played by a lady with like 4 inches of makeup and like the hair perfectly curled and everything. That's what she looks like. She's in a costume. It looks like she's in a cheap movie.
Well, what's funny is like when I filed a field report with the FBI once, and the agent who was taking my report dressed just like a Hollywood FBI agent would. She had the dress slacks and the whole. It was super strange because you would just think that they would just be normal, but she had the makeup and her hair was done, and she came out of the big computer room with the monitors all over the place. It was all like watching a movie. So it's weird that the Hollywood has an image of what, you know, these people look like, and then those people now look like the Hollywood image, and in the Trump administration in particular. All of his people are the people that look like the role, but are completely unqualified. Like Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth are like the identical type of character who are just like, if you look in their personal lives, they're just, you know, unaccomplished people who are have questionable character, but they look a certain way. And Trump, because he comes from media, he thinks that something looking the way it does is actually something being the way it is.
Yeah, he's doing casting. I think he understands something that's kind of critical, is that like we do live in the media capital of the world here in America, and that's one of our biggest industries, and we kind of like worship movies and TV like they're like it's church, right? And so Trump leans into that, and that's why he's so effective at like getting to be president.
The reductio is not. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just gonna say, like, not embracing that is a mistake. I think you got to know what country you live in. We live in the WWF country, and so you got to like kind of treat it like WWF.
The reductio is calling her a DEI agent, and the reductio, we love the reductio at YouTube. The reductio, or
go subscribe. Go subscribe
at the reductio. Our favorite philosophy professor. He's our resident ethicist. I wanted to have the reductio on so we could talk about Peter Singer's Animal Liberation and Peter Singer's other works. But he just said that it's very simple. You don't have to go through the ethical system. There's a technical term for these people, and it's asshole. So there's no
the ethical shortcut.
The big joke about Pete Hegseth is that he was a DUI hire.
Wasn't there some video of him drinking on stage, like during a press conference?
Yeah, I feel like there's many. Like there's him in like a drunk tank drinking out of like the drunk tank that he's in.
I don't like some people get hung up on criticizing that kind of thing, and like if he had great politics, I don't mind if he's getting wasted on TV, to be honest. But he has awful politics, and he's getting wasted on TV. It makes it worse. What happened?
You had a pause there. You had kind of an Aphex Twin moment where you went, and then we were going to see Rubber Johnny start bouncing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My internet's. I feel like it's. I don't know. I'm always rife with technical difficulties.
Ginglemt says that I'm making Trump sound smarter because he chooses central casting to impress himself, nobody else. Yeah, I mean, he's
That's true too.
He does have. I don't think he's like intelligence can be defined in many different ways. And I do think that Trump is kind of a dumbass, but he's got kind of a social intelligence that is like unparalleled by most people, just because he's been doing it for so long. He's been putting on a show for people, for decades. And so that's why people are drawn to him. And part of his show is like, he's basically creating a movie for us, like before our eyes. Everybody that we have, that's why it seems so surreal. It doesn't seem at all like what we've traditionally experienced in this country. It seems like we're all in a really, really bad NBC, not a sitcom. Would it be a drama? I don't know what this is.
A shitcom.
The Reductio says he doesn't discuss singers. See, I don't know. I don't know the details of everything, that's going on. It's been a long time. So, but anyways, the Reductio also doesn't use Chrome browsers, and I apologize for that, because I respect not using Google products, even though it's super hard these days not to. Because it's like, if you want to have a phone, you got to use Google or Apple, and both of them are terrible companies.
Or if you want to be on YouTube, you have to use Google.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do the big call out there. I'm a little more gracious than that. But yeah, if I could not use, I think there's a computer science guy, Richard Stallman. Are you familiar with Richard Stallman? Toasted.
Yeah.
He's the guy that he doesn't. He won't even use like a computer with a motherboard that the BIOS was made, and so he's like extremely.
Oh, he has a real great persnickety blog that looks like it was made like 30 years ago. Yeah.
So, Bob Almighty says that the Botox has frozen her vocal cords, but that's not true, Kristi, right?
I used to look like a fairly average housewife before Trump, but to get the job of Homeland Security Director, I felt I needed to change my look so he would find me more attractive. This job requires lots of makeup and Botox.
Oh, that was probably the first coherent answer she's had to the.
I mean, it was verbatim to one she gave before. I mean, her writers got to give her some more canned lines over there. Like, I know your speech, you don't say anything; it's all in the teleprompter, Kristi. But you've really got
her speech writer's really terrible, whoever it is. Bob Almighty says tax cuts for the rich while cutting social programs is very unchristian. Yeah, that's the thing is, I'm a secular person. A bit of a nihilist, but like if you read the Bible and you read the sections that are really poignant, it's Matthew and the Gospels of the Sermon on the Mount. The first will be last and the last will be first. Basic questions before leaving Earth was it Ghostface? I don't know who it was. A Killer Priest, I think. Killer Priest was basic instructions. Yeah, so they don't follow any of the heartfelt things in the Bible. They just want to follow all the terrible things so they can be cruel. Are you a secular person, Toasted, with your
I'm very religious, and I'm deeply offended by everything you just said. I made it 3 pages into the Bible before giving up, which probably means I've read more than most right-wingers, but
there's some funny
Did you used to go to
go ahead.
Have you gone to church, Toasted?
Only for funerals and weddings, like never seriously.
As a kid, your parents didn't send you to church?
No, I grew up in a very weird household. My dad was like kind of Jewish. My mom was kind of Catholic, but not really either. So yeah, I would go to bar mitzvahs. So I was like Jewish enough that I was considered part of the Jew crew and got invited to all the bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and stuff. And but like still secular enough that I didn't do it myself. So yeah,
fascinating.
Did you go terminal? Did you go to church?
Like I said, I think I mentioned this before. My dad was a biologist, and he was kind of like just an agnostic guy. He didn't like me talking about God much. Like if I said, when I was in high school and going through my rabid atheist phase that a lot of kids have when they're in high school, he found it really offensive because he grew up religious, but he, since he studied biology, he became kind of this agnostic person. So I never. They didn't take me to church, but when I stayed the night at a friend's house once, they took me to church, and it was the scariest thing I've ever seen, because as a person who like questions like what people say and the veracity of statements, being in a room full of people who just are listening to a guy up front speak words and just not question what they're saying, like, there was a snake, and the snake did these things. It was very strange to see people be so receptive to information that is clearly false. I understand the point of it. They're trying, but it's not taught as like a metaphor. It's taught as literal. So church has always kind of scared me. It feels, because it's that place where these ideas that kind of motivate people to do things happen, and for the most part in America, what they're motivated to do now is not particularly great, because we believe in prosperity gospel rather than, know that it's easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. We don't actually subscribe to any of the good Christian stuff. It's Lamp. Lamp is here.
What's up, Lamp? Lamp
was invited to the Discord, but decided to opt out. So I was sad not to see Lamp on our Discord.
No, I get it. It's I mean, there's like 50 social media platforms you have to be a part of now if you want to like be able to talk to all of your friends. So
I'm not.
I don't blame anybody for adding another one.
I'm not calling Lamp out. I love Lamp. Lamp is in the RM Brown community.
Nice.
That was smooth. That was so smooth.
That was smooth.
I did. No, seriously. Lamp is in the RM Brown community.
I love Lamp.
Lamp, I'm familiar with Lamp because Lamp is like on all of the videos I comment on, like Miles Anderson. I think, is it Miles Anderson? She comments on, or he or they comments on those videos too. So like they're a person that clearly we're in the same algorithmic thing, because we're probably watching the same media. So I wasn't just like being strange and just saying somebody random in chat that I love, but like
there was the Anchorman reference.
Lamp and I go way back, because I think I first ran into Lamp like on a Ben Burgess video where Ben Burgess was talking about Sam Cedar, and I think I called him out for not talking about RM Brown, and then Lamp's like, "Oh, I don't remember. I was a little tiff." So I've known Lamp for a while.
I want to know if Lamp's name is based on Illumination, like the lighting thing, or Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP, the old school nerdy version of it. Which Lamp? Are you a Lamp stack or are you a Lamp light? I need to know. But continue.
So Lamp space that, I mean, could have been tired. Lamp is all over the place. So anyways, I'm sorry. And I was like not able to I forgot. Like I saw. I'm so inept at things when I'm trying to juggle multiple things. So, what happened to Justin?
Probably parenting duties called. Probably he heard a scream of a child and needed to run off immediately.
Okay, I'm sending you invites to both the if only server and the terminal mode server. Now, I kind of met Justin and our good friend Chuds of TikTok. This is how this whole crazy thing about me being dressing up in a beanie started. Was a year ago when I was told that I should go to the Trump rally and interview people like this. So, and it evolved into this wonderful thing that's happening now. This fantastic production.
Do you wash that outfit each week, or do you just like put it on just for the show? You know, I'm like, you always wear the same T-shirt. I feel like
that's the thing, though. If you really know how to stream, you always want to wear the same uniform, because then you can cut up your segments, and you always have fresh content, and people have no idea whether it was from a month ago. If you have a uniform that you show up in, so that's why I show up in the uniform, and it is fresh and clean. So just as Outcast would say, so fresh and so clean. So anyways, again, Kristi, we have interactive Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem here. She's can answer any questions we have. I'm not sure. I think that she's probably run out of things to say, but she can still answer questions.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, there's a lot of
It's
questions.
wonderful to see everyone here on TERMCAST IRL in person. I can't wait to see you all again in Guantanamo.
Yeah. Her confirmation hearing, I'm sure you had to get a burning question. You really wanted to put her feet to the fire, nail her down, get a firm answer. This is your chance, chat. This is your chance. Yeah. Hold her accountable.
So, anywho, what else do we have on the agenda? We're missing we're really missing Panthapire, aka Brandy Brown, Justin's sibling. That's how I met Justin, was through Brandy Brown.
I don't know why Brandy
That's
is
right.
bothering to hide behind this Panthapire pseudonym. Homeland Security has all of her details. Let's go, Brandy.
So I thought it was funny that Brian was trying to dig into Pantha's name, and now he's getting trolled about it. I like the idea of Blake. I mentioned Blake Brown, who is somebody who follows both Justin and I on Twitter. We both know this person, Blake Brown, and I said Blake is Justin's sister. And I was trying to say that this was this was her Twitter account. So anyway.
Yeah, you were having a lot more fun with that.
So Lamp, I wanted to say that if this stream were bigger, I was going to have more people submit their pets that are kind of in danger of, being put down by Kristi Noem. I wanted to kind of counter all the negativity in that video by showing pictures of happy animals. I got my cat here, Squatch Bork. If I pan to him, though, nobody will be able to hear me as I say whatever very important thing. How is Butterscotch doing these days, Toasted?
Jelly's great. She's I don't know. She's a happy-go-lucky puppy. She's going on lots of walks. I'm more preparing to see how is she going to get freaked out over the new dog or not. But
a female or a male?
You have a new dog?
I'm in the process of adopting a new dog, another Boston Terrier senior. So
whoa.
Yep. I'm going crazy. I'm going full dog parent over here. Get my second one. It's beautiful.
Are they barky? Boston Terriers?
Not at all. Not at all. They're
I know there's one that don't really bark that much. I think it's Boston's, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know other breeds if there's a non-barkers, but Boston Terriers were not bred for any specific job. They're totally just a straight up companion dog. So they're just super mushy, lovey dogs. So yeah, that's kind of why I love them. I just love the chill little snorters, and they look really chubby like walruses. So
like walruses.
Yeah, I had a pug. Pugs they're even more extreme in terms
of yes. Exactly. The breathing is I love pugs too, but it's if you just put your ear to their chest, you could hear their struggle for breathing. You're like, oh no, you're an abomination, but you're so cute.
Yeah. It's weird how people breed these animals to just have lifelong issues with living. That's the pug is just and a lot of cats. I don't want to call any particular cats out. But these animals
yeah, I've got a squish face cat that if it ever got out of breath, she might die because they all have terrible breathing problems. She's doing pretty good though. She's getting older, so she they try to clear their airway a lot. These kind of squish face animals, they try to clear their shit because it's all squished up in there. So a little bit of fluid can cause a big aggravation. But now that she's getting older, I'm getting more and more nervous. Will this cough be the last one? And I don't know. I'm kind of looking into the future, and I can kind of see I don't know. I have this my brain. I like to try to kind of project into the future a bit. And I kind of can see when she goes out, it's gonna be struggling on a cough. And I can kind of every time she coughs and does this try to push this liquid out of her nose, right? I can see that's gonna be the thing that pushes her over the edge in the old age. And so I have this every time she coughs, I have this vision of her death in the future. I don't know if that's too dark for a podcast, but
My dad said something
I'm sorry.
It's a little girl that I will never. My dad said something to me when I was a little girl that I will never forget. He said, "Kristi, you're never going to run with the big dogs if somebody shoots you when you're a pup."
True that.
No, I mean, you know, it is dark to think about these things, but like, I feel like it's just part of the bargain. Like, you love them so much, and there's just so much positivity. Like, there has to be the negative side of like missing them. Like, it's just part of the bargain, and I think it's more than worth it if you're to like look at it objectively. But yeah, it's rough, man. I do not look forward to losing Jelly.
Oh yeah, I don't look forward to it at all. But I mean, the flip side of thinking that way and like kind of thinking about the future and like being accepting of these things will happen is like, for me, it helps me appreciate the now more than ever.
Exactly.
So it's like, if you kind of like, if you're like anticipating that like nothing bad will ever happen in the future, not that you should focus on it so much, but like if you don't have like a vision of it, you're not like comfortable with it, you might not appreciate every second that you have with somebody or something that you really appreciate, right? So for me, it's like I have visions of the, you know, that horror and that pain in the future, but that like makes me go hug her immediately and spend time with her immediately.
Yeah, no, it to me, it also like, I don't know, you guys probably have these. Like sometimes you get like intrusive negative thoughts. You're worried about something getting hurt. You have like this anxiety. You're like, oh, this is just coming from a loving place because I'm like afraid of losing them. So like, it's like, oh, I'm not feeling these because I'm just irrational and paranoid. I'm thinking about horrible things and I'm going to somehow manifest. No, it's because I love them and I don't want these things to happen. I'm like trying to prevent them from happening. So yeah, it's a positive thing, but you gotta power through it.
Yeah, I think that's like these issues kind of go back to like why I got obsessed with Kristi is that it's not that she killed the dog, it's the manner in which she killed the dog. I mean, because we have stories of people killing, like Old Yeller's a story about the dog getting rabies and having to be put down. So it's a reality, and you know, she's on a farm or whatever, but it's just the way that she bragged about the brutality in which it was a moment of rage. And that's just like it. She was telegraphing a certain type of character to get in, you know, good with Trump, but it made her really even less attractive as a leader. You know, she's in South Dakota. She's like loathed. Like the natives there have prevented her from coming on the reservations because she said such terrible things about how they're, you know, drug dealers and all this stuff. So they banned her because she is an awful person for other reasons. But anywho, I wanted to say, Not Steve says old dogs are the best. So yeah, Not Steve also, I shouted out in the latest video credit. I don't know if you saw it, but he got Not Steve, they got the biggest credit this time around. And I didn't have time to put everybody else in. I was going to put everybody who's on the Patreon and like all the free people and everybody on the Discord, but I only had 15 seconds because it was in that music video. So only 4 people got it. So sorry, everybody else. Normally I shout out, you know, Toasted Zergling and everybody. I got called out by the producer. That's why I have to apologize. She's like, "Where's everybody else's name?" So
just tell her once they start becoming paying members, they can get on there. Come on.
Well, she's really big on like she was the one that said you should start the Patreon just for people who want to help pay your subscriptions or whatever. And she said that she didn't want me to put anything behind a paywall. She said, but for the people who want to have like credits in the video or whatever, that's why I should do it. So I'm like, okay, you know. But so anyways, she doesn't like the idea. She doesn't like the idea that, you know, it's like the news media, the idea that we have to pay the New York Times or whatever journalism to be informed, like shows how messed up our society is.
Democracy dies in the darkness for $9.99 a month.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I don't know how many times I've had to look at, like, there's something happening in the news and I want to go read about it. And I Google and I hit like 20 paywalls before I can actually read about the news. And it's like, that's a horrifying place to be. Even if it's $1, that cuts off a lot of folks who will just never put in their credit card, you know, on something like that. It's just like, I end up not reading the news. It's just like, unfortunately, just going to like Twitter or something so I can get some like recap of it.
Yeah, Twitter generally sometimes can. It's you still have to filter through a lot of stuff on Twitter to find it, but you generally can get something quicker and it's more to the point. Like this story, like that I watched about that I used for the video on Kristi Noem, it really made me hate legacy media because of the way they just cover it in such a sensational way, and they don't ever really call the person out for anything. It's just a way of like, look at what's happening. It's essentially our news media covers things like a soap opera. Partly because I guess our reality has become a soap opera, but we have no critical media in the United States, and that's partly why we've fallen into these dark times. In spite of that stupid saying for the New York Times, I don't think it's particularly helping. They went on Blue Sky, and their saying was, what was it? Democracy, skies, and blueness. Did you see this? And somebody's like, it's like so stupid.
Jesus. Lamp says they bought a Wired subscription. I guess Wired's doing pretty good work right now, right?
Wired's
I've heard a lot of praise on Wired.
Their origins are very good, and they've always covered things fairly well. Are they part of what's the big media conglomerate though that has all the magazines?
And there's only like 5 media companies in America that just own everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything. There's a couple independents out there. Shout out Means TV. But yeah, it's pretty much like journalism. Pretty much is just like 5 rich guys owning everything.
Every minute business these days, like every cereal company is the same way too.
Every beer, every food product, every technology product. Yeah.
We're actually all the same people. We're actually AI right now. We're just one person controlled by terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's been feeding us into the machine.
That's the thing is like, I still like, I have, Justin, I have some videos that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully Digby can share these. So people are going to have to tell me, well, we might have to restart if Digby's having some issues. He's really sad that he didn't get his business pitch going because he's hoping to get out of the TERMCAST thing because it's not a very lucrative field. Going to go to Digby, and he's going to. All right, I think I fixed it so Digby can talk now. Okay, I gotta share. Can you guys hear me out there in the chat? I'm wearing this cool hat. Incubator made it for me. Do you see it? Kind of like an In-N-Out burger hat, but for tacos. So, anyways, people have been asking Terminal Mode about his workflow and how he makes videos, and I recorded him the other day making a video that I'd like to share. I hope people can hear it. So. Or it's on the YouTube. Can you see it on YouTube, Justin? Okay. We've got a little bit of a delay. So. Okay. So there's that. Digby. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Digby. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the thing is you can't like Photoshop.
I was
like my skills are not my skills are not that great in Photoshop. But and you can't do anytime you come anything that looks like a penis or like it's getting near the pubic mound or whatever, they'll give you a thing that says they'll even give you that thing that's it's like you won't even have anything, like you could be working on an apple or something like that, or not an apple, but just anything, and they'll give you that warning. You've done something that violates our community guidelines. So it's hard to draw this, but with Stable Diffusion, I was able to sketch in the parts that I wanted to make it close enough to where the
important parts.
Yeah, and so I had to use the same image in the video to promote the Kristi Noem thing. So,
Terminal, can I ask you a creative and perhaps philosophical question about the work that we do? I think you might have tried to cover this last time, but I missed the episode.
I don't think actually, Lamp is saying that the video did not have it. So Digby's video. I'm sorry.
I saw it.
Oh, you did? Oh, maybe Lamp.
Yes, on the YouTube.
Okay. Okay, you can ask me a creative question.
Yeah. The challenge that I think we talked about this before, and you might have covered our last stream. But the challenge I keep running into with the work that we do, making fun of these psychos, is that are we being effective at all? And if we are, in what way? Or are we just like contributing to like the legend status of these like Nazis that run the government now?
Yeah. And Lance says I doubled up. Yeah, my mic keeps popping in because I had to redo. It was a real rush to get this show put together because of that stupid OBS refresh thing. As far as I feel a degree of futility in this, and it's scary because like I'm just making a meme video when I could be rounded up and have some trumped up charges against me and thrown in Guantanamo. It's like a coping mechanism. I think it's a coping mechanism making these videos and thinking that you can laugh at the fact that you could die at any moment. Justin disappeared after that, so apparently I scared him off.
I felt you missed a great opportunity to have Kristi threaten to send you to Guantanamo there after mentioning being threatened.
I had like 4 hours of sleep, and I was like trying to improve the stream every week so it looks better and it's funnier and I've got more material. But I woke up and I was tired, so like I wrote all those jokes. I wrote basically her entire thing was just created today in a couple of hours. So
can you just like type anything, or do you have to like pre-generate those responses?
There's a process for it. You can still use 11 Labs to clone certain voices, and Kristi Noem's really easy to clone because she's got a really normal voice and she doesn't emote. She doesn't emote at all, and she doesn't really inflect. She's just monotone, and 11 Labs does a pretty good job at that. But you could probably clone her in any of these free services pretty well too. So I just type up some jokes that I want her to say, and then I put them into Blender with just a link of her talking, and then I put them into Face Fusion, and then it basically syncs the lips. It did an okay job this time around. I think some of it's off, and if you sit there and you slide around your audio, sometimes you can get better responses for it, but it's a little bit of work. But back to Justin's question, since he's back here. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry about that.
I didn't think I was going to be able to make these videos anymore. I was like, I think that's why I started playing video games more than doing videos. Videos are like a fun thing for me to do, but sometimes it feels like it's not. It feels scary to make a funny video like, look at this person, when they could essentially kill you. And not as a white guy, I'm less vulnerable than most people, but like it feels weird when other people are so threatened that I'm just making light of the horrors of what's transpiring.
I know Jelly feels very scared. I got her on camera.
Oh, Jelly. Yeah, I go back and forth too. I feel both ways. I mean, I definitely feel like making funny videos about stuff is, because at the same time I'm making content that's funny, making people laugh, trying to say something real. At the same time, I look at the news and it's like, okay, there go 1,000 people to Guantanamo Bay, while I'm doing stupid jokes, right? So I do feel that. At the same time, I also feel like art is food to a lot of people, and I think that we play a role in making people feel less afraid, because we can, like, these are really all powerful, or like seemingly all powerful, like billionaire psychos that run the government, right? But if we can still make fun of them, it takes a little bit of that power away, at least and puts a little bit of power back in our hands collectively. If we can make them beneath us culturally. So I think we're playing a contributing role in that. But then I go back and forth and like, is it just stupid to just to make jokes about these guys while all the horrors are happening? So I don't know. I bounce back and forth, and that back and forth, it definitely interrupts the artistic flow. Not that that's the most important part right now, but I feel like I can't do my contribution. Like I think that everybody's the way you want to, if you're going to contribute anything to society, you got to double down on what you're really good at. And that's going to be your big contribution. So I feel like I need to make more content, especially in this time. Like who said in the chat, Lamp, was it Lamp? Never stop arting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never stop arting, because that's what we can do. You know, I'm not a gun guy. I'm not going to go fight the revolution. Right. But I can make the propaganda. And if I stop doing that, then I didn't play my role. So I think what you're doing is worthwhile, and I think you got to keep doing it, even if it is just silly jokes sometimes, because it feeds us, and we got to eat. We're not getting a lot of joy elsewhere, and people are going to be powered by joy and hope, not just fear and anger.
I think about like the Reductios in chat, and again, people should go check out his channel and look at his videos, because he's super talented, super smart. He's got a good eye for things, and he's making these videos that are getting small numbers of views, like most of us, because we're not making videos about Marvel Comics or Star Wars. And I feel like the Reductio or you, Justin, any of us could be making videos where we could be making Manosphere content just by cutting up clips. We're not doing that. Then there's a reason, because we're compelled by other things. We're compelled to create rather than to extract people from their money. I feel like I could stop making these videos. I have a compulsion to create. I can't stop creating. It's just something that, like, I was trained as a kid. Oh, you got to be creative, even though I'm kind of disappointed in the people who told me that, because it very rarely yields a good outcome for you if you're just told that if you're creative, everything will come to you. There's so many other things you need other than that. But as a result, I can't help but create. I like to create music. I like to make videos and make images. But I would feel empty and hollow if I just looked at what was on YouTube and saw, oh, this is what people want, and I made that video, because I could probably make money just making those videos. But it seems there's something unseemly about it. I feel like what you create should say something about the world. It shouldn't just be something that people consume and then doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So,
and you're communicating. This is how we communicate. We do podcasts, I guess, but we also create to communicate, and art is communication. So it's like, we're the people that watch our stuff. We're trying to talk directly to them in the way that we know how. And I think that you need to keep having conversations at a very baseline. You got to keep talking to each other and keeping communities together, especially now. So I think there is a calling to it. The work that we're doing, and it's like everybody does what they can, right? Like we're like video nerds, right? So we're doing video nerd shit to fight back. What's a cook gonna do? And what's a soccer player gonna do? There are singers that are doing it. That fucking Macklemore is putting out revolutionary songs right now. Like, he's doing what he can, And so everybody has a role to play. You just got to figure out like the thing that is you and what you're best at and what makes you special, and like double down on it. And then if everybody did that, there would be movement. The problem is not everybody has the ability to do that. We're fortunate enough to like be able to squeeze out a little bit of time to do this kind of thing. And make our contributions, but a lot of people can't make their contributions, or they haven't found the right method to do it yet. So I don't know. It's something that's always running through my head. Is what we do it worth it? I think I land on yes.
Yeah, well, I think the friendship that we have is one of the things that came out of this, and I think that building these small communities is helpful. At least emotionally, because our society is so atomized and people are disconnected, and that's partly why it's so hard to organize people to see some of the horrific things are happening in government. Like this, the consumer financial protection thing is like totally dispiriting, because it's like a government thing that would cost the government $10 million, and as a result, or $8 million, as a result, it brought $22 billion back to people who were defrauded, or not, by like overdraft fees and that type of thing. So basically, it was protecting normal people, basically poor people, because those are the ones that had to use the service, and they basically destroyed this thing. And it's just like it's
a stimulus. It's a stimulus. Depending on how you look, it's a stimulus for the banks destroying this, or it's allowing crime and exploitation from the richest people on earth against the poorest people in their society.
Yeah. So and it just seems like I can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so I don't know, I kind of don't want to watch, because it just makes me like read the news. The news is, like I mentioned before, we don't have great news, but you can see the general storylines, and they're all intended just to kind of upset you. But if you don't pay attention, then, what's going to happen to you then?
Yeah, I that's something I go back and forth on too. It's just like a fire hose of information right now, and I can only catch so much of it, right? And then it's also like you can't, this is something David Lynch really emphasized, was like it's hard to make good art when you're depressed. Like there's a stereotype of the depressed artist, but that's like, I don't know, the people when they're actually making the art, they're having fun. Like Kurt Cobain was depressed. He killed himself later, but when he was playing music, even if the music was dark, that's when he was living, man. And that's true for all artists. So it's hard to be really depressed and make stuff that's worthwhile. So you got to find the joy in it. But yeah, it's tough right now, man. It's hard to find joy in the kind of stuff that we're doing.
on the topic, I thought you were gone from Twitter, but I would like to find out you couldn't stay away.
I mean, it's two things. There's an addiction element, of course. No, it's real. This is cigarettes for millennials is social media platforms, because we gave up cigarettes, but we just moved. We just walked. Yeah, we just walked right into this like mental addiction of social media. But so there's that, but also it's like I had to quit for a time. It was a week or two to get some like rebearings on it, because I was like scrolling it constantly. So I just needed to like detox from it. And now I kind of just like post randomly, and it's not like something that I'm opening my phone constantly for. So I got like a better balance on it, and I still want to post stuff, creative stuff there, because there's so much audience that is stuck there, because we're all addicted to these different social media platforms. And so I think I have a healthier balance on it now. And then often I'll tweet something and I'll just like delete it immediately because I so want to I don't want to get into it anymore. I need to just cut it off, because I can't get that. I can't get that feeling of like, oh, I got a notification on it. Oh, not a notification, because notification shut off, but I got a like on it, or I got someone commented. I don't want that feeling, because that'll just suck me back in. So I just post something, and then in an hour, I'm like, I better just delete that.
I've done that so many times. Take a 30-minute write up and be like, nah, I'm over it. Delete.
That's I'm in my younger age. I was a bit of a debate bro, and it's still in me. So sometimes somebody will say something on Twitter, and then I'll just respond. I'll type out my response and I'll post it, and then I'll just delete it, because I don't want to actually get into the debate. I want to feel like I got that feeling.
You need your mental thought process. So if you can have that conversation in your mind, you got it already queued up. And you don't want to
on Twitter, I can't I'm really, anytime I do get engaged with another person, it's usually I realize very quickly how uninformed and ignorant these people are, and they can't really help their own ignorance. They're just a product of their environment. So it's silly to get in there and quarrel with them over something, because it's not going to make the world a better place. And that's exactly what the companies want you doing. Just quarreling, being constantly online, engaged with people, having your data harvested. So
that experience that you and I had together, Terminal, really changed me. The one where I was kind of playfully trolling somebody, I think it was on Twitter, and you had clicked on their profile and looked into them, and you found out that they were had a really tough life, and they lived in their RV, and I was like trolling with my fake news shit, and I was just like pretending it was real, right? And they were kind of getting a little bit, I don't remember the exact quotes, but they were kind of getting up in arms about it. And you let me know that they're just person just like living in their RV and having a tough life, and that really made me take a step back and be like, do I really want to just like fuck with somebody who's already having a tough time? Because people that are on social media a lot, like sometimes they're not in a great place, we'll say, and I don't want to like piss on them while they're already down, and I don't know, that me realizing that I was doing that, it was an eye opener for me, and that was part of the reason I stepped back from Twitter, because I don't want to like be in that cycle. It's like the person in the RV, like they might have some like really fucked up beliefs, but it's also like, God damn, my life is a hell of a lot better than what they're going through. And like, do I really want to? Do you even want to waste the energy, like even trolling somebody who's in a tougher situation than you?
Yeah, and
I don't know. It doesn't feel good.
That's the thing about Elon now too, is that he's basically the pinnacle of that. What he does is just mess with people's brains, like with the whole Adrian Denman thing. He changes his name to Harry Balls, on Twitter. He's just the pinnacle of it. And so when you see his behavior, anytime you engage in anything that's remotely close to it, it makes you think, maybe I don't want to be like that guy, because he's not a good person.
Trolled his way to the top. It's very admirable. Yeah, I try to
it's
always frame things
of the times.
I always try to frame my actions as like, what am I trying to accomplish here? And if I can't articulate that, I stop it. I'm like, what am I really trying to get out of this? There's nothing to be gained, so don't buy it. But it's hard. It's hard to step back and actually say that.
Yeah, and it's hard too, because like we're, at least I'll speak for myself, but like maybe some people can relate. In my real life, like I don't have that kind of platform. You know what I mean? Like I've got like thousands of followers on Twitter, like 15,000 or whatever on YouTube, and
so it's a power trip for you. You like going on the platform to speak to your people? Is like that's what you're saying?
I mean, if you're on social media, I mean, everybody's kind of like that to an extent, right? Like I'm trying to talk to people, I'm trying to put messages out there. I do want the world to be closer to my worldview, because I think it would be better.
I think I can have so torn, like whether your worldview is even helping the world. You're like, but I want people to do it. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
Well,
no. I think that the method might not be helping. I don't know how much the method is helping. I think my perspective on the world would be like net better than what we have. Like, should billionaires exist? No, that would be net better. I want to put that out into the world, which is possible. Yeah, I don't know, man. Social media is weird. Everything that like is good about it gets so tainted by these psychos that run it.
If you start looking into anything, like I looked up the person, it wasn't even an RV, it was just a car, and she was a Democrat too. She's just like a liberal, whatever, and she thought that you were a New York Times reporter. She was living with like two cats out of her car, and she's like,
oh, I can't believe it's funny, but it's not funny.
It is funny, but it's sad. Which is kind of like the best humor. It's a funny story. She thought that you were, and what you posted was completely ridiculous. But because media literacy in America is so bad, she's like, I can't believe the New York Times hired this person who said that. It was like, and I'm just like, but like the problem is, I don't think most people do like any kind of investigation into like who they're interacting with online. It's something I'm like a creeper. Like if you interact with me, like frequently, I'll go and start Googling you and look you up and like try to understand where you're coming from to make sure that when I put you in your place, I'm going to feel okay about it. But when you look,
her biggest sin was that she trusted me.
Yeah, and that's
you know what I mean. Like, and I, and then it's me just being a little jerk online.
The sad thing is, if you look at a lot of the people who respond on comments and whatnot, there's so many people who say things out and they just push it out there because they're told, this is a social media site and they're being social, but they're not being social. It's like parasocial play. They're just putting words out there. There are probably millions of people who are just having these conversations with themselves online on Twitter. They're just saying something. They get no engagement from anybody. but that's like their only outlet in life. And that's partly why, probably why Trump won, is because people are so alienated from other people and they want to blame somebody for their isolation and loneliness and whatnot. So
yeah, and we haven't been able to accept that it's the world that's been built around us systemically from like the top down, why we all feel this way. And so we end up looking for things to blame, but like the idea of blaming like the entire system is too big, so you just want to like yell at your neighbor.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be like, I try my best. I never talk politics or religion with, neighbors or in casual conversation. I only, and even online.
You gotta live a little, man. That spice things up.
Yeah, well, I mean, but even online, I won't be aggressive about politics. If somebody says something stupid, I'm not gonna, go and just start quibbling with them. But like, we're to the point in society now, like where it's harder and harder to have normal relationships with your neighbor because of some of the things that they do. Like my mom's next door neighbor decked out their house in all the Trump regalia. They put a flag in their backyard that actually looked like it was in my mom's backyard. And my mom was really disturbed by this. How is she supposed to have any kind of normal neighborly relationship with somebody who's told that this is okay to do, And it's super strange times. It's super strange times where politicians are brands now more so than ever. And it's something that you just, you consume the merchandise just like everything else. It seems like people in America are just trained not to have any sort of critical thought or empathy for other people. It's just, you consume the merchandise that looks appealing to you. And Trump is that candidate.
And we're so isolated generally that you can consume politics that way. You can consume like real life that way as a brand, as a company, right? Like Trump, the whole Trump thing is a brand. That's what he is. That's what he's always been, right? And his whole thing is about the merchandise and the fucking flags and the hats and stuff like that, right? But for a lot of people who vote for Trump, they have the privilege or not even necessarily the privilege, the isolation to view politics as like something you just watch online or watch on TV, and so like you don't have to I know people that voted for like MAGA folks in where I grew up in Maine, and it's like they're talking about they're just, oh, don't worry, just getting rid of all the bad immigrants, right? Mm-hmm. That are criminals or whatever, not just random people. Like this what's actually happening. They don't have any like connection to like immigrants. They live in fucking Maine, the whitest state in the country.
Yeah, that's
they have no connection to it whatsoever. So
people who are most upset by this are the people in like the Midwest, the people who don't actually interact with these people.
No stake whatsoever. Yeah.
I wanted to mention, people might be wondering why Toasted Zergling is at Mile High Stadium there in Denver, sponsored by the Shane Co., also the sponsor of TERMCAST. Remember that the diamond that you buy your loved one should be a month's salary.
3 months? What month? Come on.
3 months? Oh, is it 3 months? Sorry.
3 months. 1 month? Sorry. Oh, man.
Sorry. Well, I guess if you're super rich,
extra conflict diamonds.
Exactly.
So Toasted Zergling is wearing the sports outfit for the very reason of illustrating how tribal politics is online. I often wonder whether these people online have real political leanings, or if they just kind of gravitate to a team, and they have these leanings like,
it's the one that's more fun to root for. That's what it's as simple as that. Who's winning right now? Who do I get to say my team wins, your team sucks? Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like a lot of times,
I hadn't even really thought of it from that perspective, but
like when you guys were talking before about like, what's the purpose of this stream, blah blah blah, I was convinced you guys were like useless, not thing, but it's like I feel like it's just like coping mechanisms. I actually heard Justin say something that convinced me that you guys are actually doing something worthwhile to like push back all against this, and that's kind of making them less cool and less fun to root for. Because I think like ultimately it's a popularity contest a lot of times, and if Trump no longer is like the cool one, like he'll be less likely to vote. Like sadly, I think Democrats lost because they sadly were like less cool than like the religious right wingers somehow. Like the popularity contest was lost. So if you guys can make liberal stuff more popular? Maybe. The problem is it's hard to make liberal stuff popular. It's a lot easier to bash Republicans. Liberals are scattered cats. So yeah, good luck with that.
And they don't have, but there's no policy that makes it attractive, right? So like it has to be back. Like I can't I can't make cool art celebrating some stupid bullshit that nobody cares about.
Yeah. It's tough.
I can't make the ACA great again. Cool.
Yeah,
I could do
cool.
yeah, I could make Luigi Mangione art. But that's not like I don't see Chuck Schumer embracing him.
What did you think?
That's part of the problem, in my opinion. Like, I feel like
yeah.
should be.
You want to win, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to win?
Become the meme queen. I remember there was in 2016 this fake Hillary Clinton meme video that came out. I'm like, this meme video makes me want to vote for her than any of her actual publication, any of her real stuff. Oh man.
Dark Brandon, before he got adopted by the actual Brandon campaign, was the greatest piece of Democrat propaganda.
I like, Dark Brandon was hilarious. I loved his red background.
Yeah. I'm talking about pre Brandon even knowing that it existed. Back when it was just a Reddit thing and it was a bunch of communists making fun of Democrats and Republicans at the same time by just saying oh, Brandon, everyone's thinking that Joe Biden is this all powerful, enemy on the right, or for the right. And so they're like, okay, here's a Brandon that you'll really think is a dangerous character. Right. And it's a piece of satire, but that was the best. I don't know. I think that was the best Democratic related art that was coming out at the time. And they embraced it and just watered it down into nothing, unfortunately.
That's what the Democrats don't get, is that it's not about policies. It's about how people feel, and the Trump is all about how people feel and just being oblivious to actual policy.
Well, it's a double-edged sword though, because I think that people who vote Democrat generally are looking for the world to be better in some way. They want things to suck less, right? So it's it's hard to just be focused on the vibes as Democrat. Kamala tried to do a vibes campaign, and it didn't work.
That's what she was going for? I have no idea what she was going for.
Well, I mean, there's no policy, so it has to be just. Besides, some stupid stuff like protect your crypto assets or whatever. There's no Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Justin.
No, it's what I'm gonna say. Give us real shit. That's why Bernie was popular. Bernie wasn't popular because of the memes. Bernie was popular because he said, we're gonna get fucking rid of this horrible healthcare system, and you're actually gonna be able to, live.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was popular. Everything else was just. There's no reason that Bernie should have had such a great meme campaign. The only reason he had such a good meme campaign and became a meme is because the shit he was saying was exciting and popular and necessary.
But there is this element of, as far as senior citizens go, he is kind of a cool senior citizen. When the things he says are in the mainstream and popular. As Lamp points out, the Democrats made a mistake by giving up on calling conservatives weird. Waltz had that same thing where he was kind of a cool dad. He was a cool teacher, and they made him lean. They totally nixed that and made him just be a conciliatory. We're just the same, him and JD Vance. We agree on all these things. That's what they basically turned the whole campaign into MAGA light. And who wants that? Who wants the thing that doesn't feel as fun as full on MAGA? Nobody. So
Liz Cheney's the most fun thing imaginable, and Democrats ran a perfect campaign. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to you criticize it. You white men. Oh.
I used to go back and forth. I still kind of do sometimes, but go back and forth on, are the Democrats evil co-conspirators or just totally incompetent, to a really comical level?
That's a great
question. It's a great question, and it's fun to ponder, but it actually doesn't matter because the result is the same. And so I'd rather just treat them as a force that's in the way.
The result's the same, but I feel like the cure is different. I feel like
we try. But I think the cures have been tried.
Oh yeah.
Because Bernie was like the adrenaline shot in the heart in Pulp Fiction that could like, you know, put this country on a different path and like humanity on a different path. I don't want to imbue too much power into the one dude with some good ideas, but it's also like that was a real inflection point. Imagine if we had Bernie twice instead of Trump.
Well,
so I don't know. I don't think it matters. It's just that we've got to figure out ways to like build a world around them because they're always going to be an obstructionary force, unfortunately.
well, they're gonna break down that wall. Now you're the one chanting "build a wall," Justin. The irony, build a wall.
Build a wall, an emotional wall away from the Democrats. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's like it's kind of like even I feel like it's a little bit trivial to even like talk about Democrats right now a little bit because like they've like so thoroughly lost and they're so not going to help us in any way going forward as all this horror comes. So like the real thing to focus on right now is like go out like I'm going to do tonight. Go fucking have dinner with your neighbors if you can, and start building some community around you to help protect each other as things continue to decline.
Got a good.
I mean, not all of us can do that. I know. I'm thankful that I have a good network of people that live around me, and I'm part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
So, but please, everybody, if you're listening, find community wherever you can, and contribute your skills and encourage others to contribute theirs, and start building things that can separate us from this system that's oppressing all of us. And will be used to oppress us further.
Discord server. Speak, join our Discord server.
Yeah. If you're looking for community, go to Patreon/terminal mode.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. You will feel part of a large group if you.
Top tier people feel the most loved.
Yes, exactly. Your loneliness will decrease as your donations increase.
No, but seriously, find a way to be a part of something. Join an org. Go to the soup kitchen. If you're looking for something to do, just find folks that like can help you contribute to building a world that you'd want to see that doesn't require these fucking jerks in Washington, because they're not going to help us and they're only going to hurt us, especially in the next 4 years. So, find something you can contribute to and contribute your skill set to, and then you'll feel a lot better and you'll actually be doing things that are helping.
Not Steve is pushing back a little bit against this. I joined a local community care group, but I can't avoid the feeling of despair. Yeah. I mean, there's a number of issues there for sure that it's just hard to feel like that we have structured our society in a way in which we don't have meaningful ways to enact progress. That's part of the system. But also like when you go out there and you interact with people, sometimes like I'm like I like my heart goes out. My daughter and I ride our bikes through this kind of road by the freeway, and there's so many homeless encampments there. And these people are always so friendly. We've never had any problems with them. They're like, she fell off her bike once and they came over and like, "Oh, are you okay?" Whereas like when we ride through the rich people's neighborhoods, we get yelled at. They're gated and they're like, you think you own this place? They're like really rude. So like, but the thing is, if I actually engaged with the homeless community on any significant level, it just becomes so depressing seeing their condition and knowing that we don't have the social services to actually help these people in any way, and I'm not equipped to do it. And there's just no, like, oftentimes there's such a degree of futility in trying to help. So
I saw as a news story or as a TikTok or I don't remember what it was, but it was these folks. It was like a group of like two, 3, 4 guys. They rented a truck and they had like whatever like compound it is to fill in potholes, some mix of tar and whatever. And they figure out how they could fix potholes by themselves, and they just drive around I think it was they just drive her out at night in I think
It was Oakland. They had that in Oakland.
It's Oakland, yeah. It's in Oakland.
I lived there.
they're where like yeah. So you know about these guys. So all they do is go around and fill up potholes. Like that's their thing that they do, and that's their contribution. Now it doesn't seem like a huge thing, but if everybody does something that is like that at a small level, you don't need the only reason we have to feel like we need to do something really big, like get the right president or like have some guy like Luigi Mangione running around, right? The only reason we feel like we need these things is because not every single person is contributing to like the extent that they can, right? So like one of the dumb little thing that I do and my neighbors, we all do for each other is like, we share skill sets. So I'm really good at growing tomatoes and I'm really good at growing weed. So guess what? My neighbors are well fed with a variety of tomato types and some pretty good weed.
And they're so high that they only realize that they're eating only tomatoes. So they're living on an entire.
Okay, but
I have to ask: is that because you used to grow tomatoes and weed because they have the same light profile, so you didn't want them to
they have the same
spot? Yeah.
Same fertilizer.
So this is from your experience days when you were guerrilla growing. I knew it. Okay.
Well, I also live in Southern California, so the sunlight is great. They both love sunlight.
And it's legal now, so you're fine. 10 ways over.
Yeah. But so I have one neighbor that's really good at fixing stuff. He helps me with projects. I keep him smoked up, and he helps me like fix the fence. It helps me fix like, this tree, like I have like a fruit tree and the fruit tree fell over during a storm and he helped me prop it back up. Right. And so like we're all sharing skill sets. Another neighbor across the street, I trade him tomatoes for Russian chocolate. And we do this we all do this for each other. And like, but there ain't nobody else on our, it's just a small community of like, a few people that live around each other. Right. But like, if you look that way and the other way on our street, there aren't many other groups of people doing that kind of thing. And I want to keep expanding this circle. Right. So I think we can all do small things like this to just like make community life better. And because the answer to like hyper individualism is always going to be the opposite. It's community. So like do whatever you can to be a part of something. And that will be a contributing factor. It might not heal the feelings of depression totally. Because it's scary to just like flick on the news at all. But you will be a small part of a solution. And if everybody does a small thing, whatever they can contribute, if we all contribute something, the world will shift in our direction. Not the only thing to do, but it's the easiest thing to do.
Well, thank you for the positive spin on everything. It's nice to hear somebody have an optimistic view.
I mean, what other option is there? Revolutions are built on hope.
Are they?
What Star Wars movie was that?
Was it?
That's my favorite. It's not Andor, but the precursor to Andor, Rogue One. They cut it out of the movie ridiculously, but in the trailer, the main character says, "You have to have hope. Revolutions are built on hope," and that's true. Every like revolutionary has been the most optimistic person alive. You have to imagine a better future and then be able to like put all the pieces in place over decades to see it to fruition. And so like if that ain't hope, I don't know what is. So you gotta have to have like ridiculous hope in the face of all odds to get anything remotely positive to happen. So all you can have is hope. There is no other option.
A Human is pointing out that he's sharing eggs and seasonal fruits with his neighbor, which is wonderful. I hope the price.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Price of eggs are cheaper in Australia.
A Human, do you have chickens? I want to get chickens so bad. I think I have enough space.
Chickens too.
I saw somebody. I went to somebody else's house today. I live in LA, so there's like it's like one of the few cities where you can still own houses, right? Major cities. And then I went to somebody's house today, and their neighbor had chickens, and I was like, "That is so cool!" And they didn't get any, but the person whose house I went to, they didn't get any eggs from their neighbor, and I was like, "Oh, what a waste! What a waste!" The whole reason to have chickens is to share the eggs.
Getting chickens right now could be problematic though, because I'd hate to get chickens, and then your chickens get bird flu, and then you're gonna not just like possibly get it from your chickens, but also just the idea that the government would come in and have you cull your chickens. That would be traumatizing, I think. Tomcat says cops are searching for a guy in the UK who filled a pothole without permission. So,
wow.
I wonder if it seems like one of those stories that would be pushed on the Telegraph or the the Daily Mail, yeah. But I think that is like an issue. Like I watch a lot of skateboarding videos, and they do these DIY projects where they'll just go in and start turning a piece of public land into a skate park by making little transitions to walls and stuff. And I imagine sometimes they get in trouble, or sometimes Tim Pool will pay to buy up the site and kick everybody out. A Human says the lesbian.
That typo. The typo. Oh my god!
Is it the Lebanese couple? Okay. The couple next door are the ones with eggs. They return the favor with flowers and veggies, but no choice. No. What is that? Chooks.
I guess chicks. I don't know.
Chicks.
No chickens. He doesn't.
But no chicks here, boys.
No chicks. This is a man.
Apparently, chicks you could buy them through the post office. The post office was how a lot of people purchased chickens to start their chicken colonies or whatever. And now that Trump's guy Louis DeJoy is still there, apparently the post office is so bad these chicks are arriving dead now. So that's a sad story.
That's still a thing you can do. Like I thought that was okay.
No.
So what you should start doing is just start voluntarily delivering the mail for your neighbors, flying across the country to deliver parcels.
Deliver little chicks.
Yeah. Oh, hey. All right.
Little
somebody's got that skill set.
Little chooks, as they're called down under, I think.
Chooks.
So, Justin, you said that you were going to that your channel was kind of slowing down, and I've noticed that it's just you're just pushing content. I think you've put more videos out than I have. So everybody,
I put like two videos out.
And you also
I'm trying to find. I'm still trying to find like I'm trying to figure out a balance in my life because I've got a baby and I've got a job. And I'm working a lot. I'm trying to cram right now because my parents are here helping for another couple of weeks, but soon they're going to be gone. So I really want to I got this new job recently, and I really want to get expert level at this job. So I eliminated the idea of there be any overtime once they're gone because I want to be fully focused on this little baby. And right now I'm working a lot of overtime, and I just want to reduce that by getting really good at this job. So I've been hyper focused on just getting my shit together. Long story short. And so I'm still trying to figure out a way to balance putting out content because I feel like that's a real contribution that I can make. And I have a community of folks that like that. While having a life and sleeping. If you look at my face, man, I'm not sleeping. I'm sleeping 5 hours a night, just trying to figure things out. But hopefully once if I can achieve my goal of getting really good at this job really quickly, then hopefully I'll be able to put out more content because I'll free up some time for that. So
going back to Toasted Zergling's set here, which I'm still fascinated by, and I still was this a last minute thing when Pantha and Justin were late, or did you plan on?
This was predetermined completely. There's a lot more thought process that goes into a lot of my decisions than I would like to care on. One, you demanded that I dress up as a different character because of you didn't want me to do my usual businessman right-wing fake shtick or something. So I decided to go with the absolute median of the world, true blue American baseball player. And not only am I a baseball player, I'm wearing purple so I can represent both sides and be right in the middle there. So I am the average American Joe, your foil for this show, although I have not been taking many right-wing positions. I'll start doing that now.
I totally love the idea of every week, and this is now your job, you come as a different character, because like last week you were the businessman, and this week you're the baseball player. So you've kind of created a dilemma for yourself here. We're gonna have to start costuming you.
It's all good. There's spare brain cycles as you're vacuuming your house is where this came from.
A human asks, "What's the new gig? If you can talk about it, Jess." I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to
dox yourself.
Well, yeah, docs, but also I also one of the reasons I changed my channel name is because I don't want to weirdos to call my place of employment. So I have been doxxed before, and that's already scary enough. But then I just don't trust psychos online. So I don't want to talk too much about the specifics of a gig because someone might be able to figure it out. But let's just say I'm editing for the next iteration of Hollywood that you'll watch on your phone. That's as far as I'll go into it.
He's working with Michael Bay.
Yeah. For your phone. On your fucking telephone. Get real. David Lynch.
Yes, one of the greats. He is missed.
Love that guy.
People don't know he's the director of The Elephant Man. That's probably his most notable work.
And Blue Velvet.
I'm not sure he did that one. I think The Elephant Man.
I think he did Blue Velvet.
Did he? I thought that was.
He might have.
I thought that was John Waters.
A human says they're just asking for your FBI handler. Oh, thanks. Tell them I said hi.
Do any of you if you have highly educated friends who went to fancy colleges, do you ever wonder when they're not very open about their current job, do you ever wonder whether they are
working for a weapons contractor?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't gotten. I've gotten those interviews. I've been wandering the streets of Boston, and some some Secret Service guy's do you know so-and-so? Can you interview with him right now? I'm going to. We need to talk about him. He's going to jeopardize his job if you do not interview with him right now. I'm what? No.
What?
No, because they want to catch you off guard, so this way you don't have time to prepare. But yeah, I've known many people that work for Halliburton or Lockheed Martin. So I've gotten surprise attacked by the people who do the background checks on them before.
I mentioned it because on our Discords, the two Discords, we've amassed such a eclectic group of people, and they're all really, really smart people, and they have such tremendous insight. I wonder even the reductio, he's too smart just to be a normal philosophy professor. He's the guy, and then it's always everybody. I think I've probably gone through the Discord and thought, this is the guy that's the federal agent. I'm looking through them all. Justin's the only person that I don't think so, because he went to the University of Maine.
Yeah, I'm the dumbest person.
I went to Arizona State.
Discord.
I went to Arizona State, and as Ned Flanders said that when Homer was in heaven, that heaven must be easier to get into than Arizona State. So, but now Toasted has really revealed why he's here. So next week, I guess he's got to have the FBI. You got to wear the Men in Black suit. And you're gonna have that.
I don't think I have that to pull that off.
A human is among those in the Discord. I'm he's we just have so many smart people. It's awesome because you can pretty much get the answer to anything. So
yeah, it's a good group. How do you feel about folks I don't over COVID I made a commitment to never be mad at a normal person. It doesn't always work, but I'd rather reserve the anger and the hatred for people who have real power. I'd rather funnel if I'm mad at somebody says something stupid online, I'm just going to channel that into hating Elon Musk more, right? I don't want to waste my time on somebody that's powerless. But how do we feel about folks that do work for companies like Halliburton? And making missiles to drop on kids. They know what their job is, right? They're not mistaken about their job.
I
can
personally speak to this. My sister's husband was like a vice president for a defense contractor, and it was hard because like ever since she met this guy whose father was also in the the military industrial complex, I always wanted to just go off, but to bite your tongue because you've got nieces or nephews who are the children of some. It's a hard thing to go through because essentially their entire life, like when these kids were vacationing, I viewed it as blood money. It's just really tough to go through. And what is your choice? To be like the principal person who alienates yourself from your entire family because you want to take a stand on the fact that this person worked for a defense contractor? He was not a right-leaning. His whole family was right-leaning. My sister was pretty, standard lib, not a leftist, but she did push him in the right direction. But the fact that this guy is still working for a company who makes the world a hard, terrible place was hard to deal with. I'm glad they're divorced. I'm glad they're divorced. That was a huge,
that clears it up a bit. Yeah,
everybody in the family now hates him. Everybody hates this dude, and I can finally say, yeah, and he was also a fucking shitty person for working for Allied Signal or whatever, So
yeah, that's tough because I don't know. Like, I kind of think that like most jobs are like that. Like, would you extend that feeling towards somebody who worked at like Tesla now that Elon Musk is in the position, or Twitter?
Honestly,
you know what I mean?
I think most people are oblivious to, the full details.
I think so. That's how I feel.
The smarter you are, the more you know, the crazier you get, and the harder it is for you to actually live a life as a normal human being. That's how I think. I can't, like, you kind of have to just block out like all of the factors of people that make them suck. Like my next door neighbor is like a conservative Christian. She voted for Trump. She's like one of the nicest people, like one of the nicest neighbors I've ever had, constantly trying to give us stuff, constantly trying to get us to go to her church or whatever. It's tough, but I'm not going to ruin my relationship with my neighbor to please some, person on Twitter by telling her she's stupid for voting for Trump or whatever. It's just, life is complex and it's just impossible, I think.
And I think we all, like, for the most, like, if you work for like a major company, unless you work for like a small, like, I don't know, the general store in your small town or something, the chances are you work for like up the chain of some of the worst people on planet Earth, right at the top, right? Sometimes it's more explicit, like somebody who, like, if you're working like Halliburton or something, it's like 1-to-1, you're right there. The degree of separation between you and like bombing a kid overseas is like not very far away. But if you're like working for like, if you're working for like you're working for like McDonald's, you're still part of that contributing factor into like putting like some of the most powerful, awful people on earth into power. If you work at Twitter, you work at wherever. Yeah, I think we're all part of that system, and it's more of a system issue than it is a person issue. It adds a layer of difficulty when it's so explicit. Like, I work on the chips that help navigate the bombs into the faces of those kids in Gaza. Like that's like so close, right? But like, it's all part of the same system. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm kind of like, you gotta, as hard as it is, you gotta like reserve it, because it's not a normal person who's just working a job to survive and feed their family issue. It's an issue of that we live in this stupid fucking system that puts the worst people imaginable at the top of it to run it.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong, we're trapped in the wrong system, and we can't necessarily be mad at people that are just living in it.
Well, the way I look at it is the system that we've constructed, capitalism, like so many jobs, like, are just unethical, period. Like the legal system, the fact that people have to pay for legal representation, and it's all dependent on your status in society, how much money you have to pay for defense. That I'm like, all those jobs are, immoral. Like, I pretty much think that most jobs under capitalism have some degree of immorality, and to exist and interact with these people, you kind of have to overlook the fact that somebody's a lawyer, or the fact that somebody maybe is a police officer.
Who's honestly, like, who's like, it's up for debate, like who's killed more people, so, like Halliburton or McDonald's. It's an interesting conversation to have. I mean, I would guess Halliburton, but like McDonald's, like what's the number one cause of death in America?
Lamp disagreeing with me that we have to be harder on
Lamp makes a good point
about careers. Yeah, I do agree that if you're in a position, you should always point out. Like, I had a friend who was a computer programmer and he was getting a job at Nestle, and I was like, isn't Nestle up to some shady shit? And he's like, no. I felt like in a position like that, I could explain to him that Nestle has done some horrific things throughout the world.
Yeah,
it's harder.
I feel like you got to have the conversations about it. You have to like we have to know what we're stuck in, and you have to help people realize that we're trapped in something, and we don't realize that we're trapped in the matrix. Not to be right wing about it, but like to be like more what the Wachowskis envisioned with it. We are trapped in something that's bigger than us, we need to help each other realize that a different world is possible, and that we're all like forced to be a contributing factor in it, and we're being, our labor and our minds are being mined to, to help elevate some really bad stuff, and we need to help each other break out of it.
I do agree with Lamp that we should push back, but like the story with my brother-in-law is one in which, and I think that there are probably other stories that are like that, where it's just impossible to do anything and not completely fuck up your own life. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. Whenever the opportunity arises, I speak up about capitalism and tell people how it sucks. Like my old neighbor, I had a pretty good relationship, and he was a real dumbass, and he just like real racist. But anytime he said something to me, because I had a good relationship with him, I would push back because I knew that he respected me. So in those situations, you always got to push back. You always got to try to make people see the right when you can. But often life involves situations in which you're just fucked. You just can't do it.
Yeah. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got 5 minutes before dinner is ready.
Okay.
You know how I am with family dinner. So
thank you, Justin. And thanks for hanging out with Kristi, even though she hasn't been very active today.
Follow Kristi at Puppy Killer.
I wonder if that's a real. I wonder if I'm promoting somebody.
They're about to get 10 followers on Twitter. All right, guys. Good night, everybody. Good night, Toasted. Good night, Terminal. Thank you. Good night, chat. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for showing up and supporting us and what we're doing, and being a part of our conversations. We really appreciate it. So yes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Justin.
Bye,
love you.
Justin.
Love you too. Good night.
Puppy Killer is a Twitter handle, and it's been around since 2008. It's private.
It's private?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not the real Puppy Killer. Lamp says, my uncle was a principal at Vanguard and then helped develop financial packages for BlackRock, and I don't really talk to him anymore. Yeah. I know somebody who was like connected to Michael Milken, and basically these people are super rich now because of junk bonds. And, but if you grew up around these people and you're friendly with them, they're connected to power too. It's sometimes the complexities of those relationships are really hard to navigate, especially if they're family. It's easier if they're not family and you can just say whatever, and they don't really affect your other relationships with people, but it's not always that simple. A Human says, oh God, the whole concept of financial instruments can get in the bin. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that's like that, but that's how our whole society is structured, is on figuring out financial instruments and using math, how to take wealth from one part of the economy and place it somewhere else. It's like our whole system is structured around that. Lamb says it's possible to reject parts of the system. That means sacrificing some comfort. It's not for everyone, of course. Yep, I agree for sure.
Sadly, volunteerism will not change the world radically as much as it needs to be. I'm somewhat convinced. So, despite advocating my things I want, and sacrificing the comforts, I know some people are still going to drive their SUV to McDonald's and go through the drive-thrus, no matter what way you explain it to them. So, I'm not sure what the solution is there.
Yeah, I think human beings are just inherently problematic creatures, and you just, we're just like messed up. Our design is like so stupid when you think about it. Other
Well, we're not
organisms-
designed. See, if we were designed and we had intelligent design, maybe we'd be less stupid, but
Well,
we're
okay.
more just a machine learning that survived the evolution treadmill, and these terrible characteristics kept passing on, and we're now dealing with them in a totally different environment.
Yeah, I think designed by evolution is clearly what I meant. But yeah, we have such a weird system of interacting, like it's way too complex. And it just makes it really hard, especially if you're thoughtful. If you're a thoughtful person or you read books, like it like makes it worse for you. Lamb says a lot of time people in those positions, especially if they're making a lot of money, literally start believing they're superior and their opinions infallible. So it's futile to talk to them about it. For sure. And it reminds me of that quote from Upton Sinclair about how it's impossible to convince a man whose salary depends on something of
Not understanding it.
Exactly. And I've been around people like that. I've been around people who
Every manager ever. I mean,
well, also people who figure out like money making schemes. Like once you tell them like, well, there's a little bit of unethicalness in what you're doing here. They have mechanisms in their brain that can adjust as this level of cognitive dissonance that makes them think that it's okay. So,
well, they benefit, so it's okay.
Yeah. So. Anyways, we've been going for how long did
2
we?
hours. We're
2
doing
hours.
great.
Are you wanting to stick around and try to have more conversations here? I kicked Kristi off since Justin left.
I mean, I don't have anything else planned on the agenda. I always dream of preparing more. I wanted to listen to your stream notes and give you feedback on the feedback.
Did you get?
I haven't listened to it yet. No, I didn't get to listen to it last night, and then this morning I was too busy with the application and cleaning up my house, getting ready for jelly number 2. No. But I will do it.
So, yes, Thomas, it's nice to see all the people that I recognize everywhere. A human, when people realize and accept the fact that fiat currency is faith-based and the extension of the economy is faith-based, you can go in 2 different, like pretty much everything in humanity is like faith-based when you think about it, though. Like cryptocurrency especially is that way. And it's like, it's just a vehicle for gambling pretty much, isn't it, Toasted?
100%. Yeah. I mean, every financial thing is just nothing is connected to the real world whatsoever. So it's all just virtual tokens anyway. Like we gave up the barter system because it's super inefficient and went with currency because it has tons of advantages. And then we completely shit on all the advantages by creating all these terrible other mechanisms on top of it. Yeah. It's
well, I'm glad that you're as somebody who has held cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and whatnot. You're among the good ones if you can see that that's essentially what it is, and you're not saying. I mean, I guess if you had more of a vested interest, if you had more Bitcoin, you'd probably be telling a different story here.
Oh, like I can shit on fiat currency. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's the answer. It's just like the same thing. Shitting on Republicans doesn't mean Democrats are the answer. Like clearly, there's a lot of flaws with our system. Clearly, I understand the motivation behind creating Bitcoin, and I understand like banks just print money out of thin air, and that's bullshit that they can devalue our money, and Bitcoin pushes against that. But like, it's still, I don't know, not perfect either. Yeah. So
Tomcat says he has to go. So thanks for hanging out with us, Tom. It's a pleasure as always. You and Toasted could have had a lucid dreaming conversation. Kristi had some things to say about it. If you're still here,
I've heard quite a lot about Toasted Zergling. My file on this dude is fascinating. Apparently, he's a lucid dreamer.
It's like such an innocuous thing to say.
I don't know. I think that lucid dreaming, there's some speculation as to whether, are you sleeping?
Oh, so yes. Okay, so the thing is, I think I'm conscious when I'm sleeping. That's what it took me a long time to realize is like, I will just be thinking nonstop. And I'm like, I'm actually asleep right now, but I think I'm just like laying awake in bed, but I'm not. But I'm like, oh, like I can't feel my body unless like I really focus on it. It's just like in a deep meditative state. Like, yeah. So, but no, I'm aware, even when I'm sleeping in dreams, I'm like, oh, I'm sleeping right now. I'm dreaming. Like I oftentimes will even know what time it is. I'll be like, it's probably like 2:40 in the morning. If I wanted to wake up, I could.
Yeah, I actually think that sometimes when I'm laying down and just thinking that I'm still partly sleeping, even though
I think stage 1 and stage 2 are way closer. Like you don't realize that you're sleeping a lot of times.
Yeah. And sometimes when I like, even after I don't fall into like actual REM sleep where I'm actually regenerating. Sometimes just laying there actually is somewhat rejuvenative. And I think it is because your brain is doing some slight processing. You're thinking differently and getting rid of whatever chemicals or restructuring your brain in a way. So we should do that. We should do your video on the value of sleep. I think we should do a collaboration. We could do a video essay on how the lack of sleep in America probably is a good portion of why things are so messed up.
Yeah, like just getting rid of daylight savings time and this time zone shift would save thousands of lives. Like it's, I don't know. Whoa. Oh, we just got Kristi Noem.
Oh man, I didn't realize I could do oh. Wow, I guess I learned something today. I knew that I could do this, but I didn't actually. I've never done it. So clearly I can use OBS, not OBS, but VDO to highlight the person too. So I should have been doing that rather than
scene shifting all the time.
So anywho, it seems like things are winding down. So
what do we have any sneak peeks for next week? Do we have any hype up? How do we leave people on a cliffhanger for like coming back next week?
I'll do like, just because we had the conversation about we had it, and this is going to get the stream demonetized, of course. But because we were talking about art and creating things, and sometimes it feels awkward to make jokes about the person who might come and slit your throat or throw you in a van and drive you away. I had been making a video. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to share it because it's in Blender right now. It was a video where I'm trying to I'm doing a mashup of The Cure and New Order. So I'm swapping the vocals from one Cure song onto a New Order song. It's just going to be a song that has no, normally what I try to do is point it into
as a message behind it. This is just for fun.
It was just me, like I'm like remixing something and trying to make something that I think would be funny and interesting to listen to. So that's
cool.
I was working on.
I love those music channels. I love this guy David Bennett Piano. Like he does a lot of these like musical swaps and key changes of different songs. I might be right up your alley if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I generally like a lot of the music channels on YouTube. So that was kind of, I might have that. I don't know what else I need to prepare. I'm not sure I'll have a new video for next week. So, but maybe something will come to me. Maybe I'll just make up a bunch of stuff. So there's that. Hopefully the notes will be read this week.
Yeah, the notes will be read. We can get more guest contributors. We can maybe try to solicit somebody else. You wanted us to like talk to one of those other channels, bring ththose guests on. Yeah. There's a lot of ideation that needs to be happening. This is why we need synergy. We need meetings. I was in one of my random thoughts that I was going through. This is again while I'm cleaning the house and I'm thinking about what do I want to do for the stream. I thought it'd be really fun to like basically run the stream like a business meeting and have like a retrospective board and go over what went well, what do we need to stop, what do we need to improve. It's all through all the ideas really dryly, but it was funny in my brain at least. Oh no, we lost.
Turn my mic off. You'll have to like maybe come as human resources sometime. You can dress up.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I could definitely be HR. I could do HR many different times. I could do that. I could also do my finance chats about your 401ks and your health insurance. I love that shit.
My cat kind of looks like he's dead. Look at him. Squatchberg. Doesn't he look like he's dead? One thing I was thinking of talking about is I took some footage of this channel that does like these kitten rescues or cat rescues, but I'm almost convinced that all of these rescues are fake, that they drug these cats and they put them on the street and then they pretend to rescue them for views. So I thought
that's weird.
It's like a horrific thing. I'll have to show the video to you and you can watch it and tell me what you think. But there's a thing that people do with sharks where they fish for these sharks that you're not supposed to fish for, and then they pull them ashore and then they film themselves pushing the shark back into the ocean, and then they claim that they're saving these sharks. There's a lot of like social media brings out the worst in people.
Yeah, I mean that's like there was like I feel like there used to be a thing with like hunting snakes or something, and they just wound up breeding the vipers instead of hunting the vipers, and like smashing up artifacts into various little pieces because they're paid by the days. Yeah, people are terrible. Like they'll exploit what gets them the most reward, not as the intention behind the mission.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what we have for You Got to Keep the Hype Alive. The hype about tulips, I assume we're talking about here. The tulip, you know about tulips, right?
Yes, I know tulip.
Everybody who knows crypto should know about the tulip thing.
There's a lot more esoteric ones too that I like too. Like Power Plug was one I grew up with. If you ever just look up the stock price of PP, that's one's amazing.
You sent a picture of your Bitcoin wallet, I think, or something the other day. I have an email.
If I did, I don't think I did.
I sent an email to people when GameStop was at like $6, and I said, there's a real chance that this thing might come around.
Oh, when it was the Wall Street Bets was posting those memes, I'm like, yo, these memes are high quality. Like, I feel like this might actually. I have. Oh God, this is just as bad as my Bitcoin stories of not making $1 million. I had GameStop options that I had open, and I fucking like closed them out before it spiked to a bajillion. I was like, oh my God, Brian.
Yeah. It's all gambling. I'm glad you see that, the stock market, cryptocurrency, it's all just playing blackjack at the table. Just,
different versions of it.
There's different kind of information you need. And unlike blackjack, though, I guess if you have insider information or just a keen insight, which is rare, especially with a degree of computer trading that's done these days, it's almost impossible to be just somebody who's a super genius with trades, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, it's something like 95% of active traders lose money compared to the market.
So Lamp's seen these fake rescue videos on Instagram too. It probably is more popular on Instagram, but on YouTube they have also like where it's gross. Like social media, I have a hard time like with it because often I think does it provide any kind of utility that is greater than the horrors that it creates for us? So that's probably a question.
I use it so strategically. Like, I feel like you and Justin meander and live in social media, but for me, it's like going to the grocery store. I'm like, I have my list. Here's what I'm getting, and I'm getting out. But you're like, I'm going to meander. I'm going to look at this end cap. I'm going to go for these impulse buys. Like, I'm going to go to my Boston Terrier subreddit. Aw, cute dogs. I got my dopamine hat. I'm not wandering over to like r/conservative and getting debates over there. Like, I don't know. And like Twitter never made sense to me. I feel like such a boomer. I'm like, Twitter is just anarchy. How does anybody follow this coherently? Like, I never could read it. I'm like, how does anyone know what's going on Twitter? Like, I don't know.
We probably have some similar elements of personality here. I like to understand these systems. I like to go and figure out how Reddit works, what things will receive, all the updates or whatever. I like to understand it, but once I do understand it, then I'm like, okay, I understand it. Now I'm never going to do that again. I still frequent Reddit a little bit. It's probably my favorite social media site just because it's the one that allows you to neg people. And it's the one where people, if they get upset and they delete their account, it's gone forever. Those are good elements of social media. I think people need to feel bad on social media. People need to not have the recourse where, oh, my feelings were hurt, I'm gonna disconnect, and then they come back a day later. Reddit is permanent. It's like Reddit is pretty old school and has some of the the elements I like. I like negging people. I like the fact that you have like groupthink, and you're going to get some upvotes, and then you're going to get some downvotes, and then it's kind of a balance of how the community moderates. It's more ideal. Whereas Twitter is just tribalism. Twitter is just people yelling at each other and people upvoting the one person they like more.
Yeah.
So.
Twitter, I can't navigate like it. Yeah, like it doesn't feel like it. Like there's subreddits, their content, they're subject based, but it's like Twitter is like personality and personas you're going to, not subjects. Like it's weird. I don't know. Like when I think of information and news, I don't think of people first. I think of like events and things. Yeah, I don't know. I do love.
That's
I
true.
like Reddit too because it's all like old school like forums. Like I grew up on like forums and BBSs and stuff, and those were like really cumbersome to like keep up with. But like Reddit's like easier to follow. You can save threads. You have like object permanence. Like I feel like Twitter shit just gets lost and I can never find it again. And there's like no one place to find it. But I have all of my comments in one place. I can look up people's comments and what they replied to. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about Reddit was it was structured around the actual ideas rather than the personalities. So, it's whereas Twitter is structured around the personalities rather than the ideas, and that's problematic if you're interested in ideas. Not so problematic if you're interested in being a celebrity like Cat Turd. So,
Cat Turd. Yeah, but yeah, no. I feel like Twitter's where I go to scream into the void, and Reddit's where I go to have really shitty debates and get my thought.
Well, Justin and I were using Twitter to promote the videos we made. He's like, and he was the one that kind of urged me to get on Twitter and try to get engaged there. I was like, I don't really like it. I still don't like it. But then our friend Chudley, he's got 115. He had 133,000 followers, but he kind of stopped posting a lot since Elon Musk. And he's like, "Oh, you can help me post on this account." So it's interesting to have an account where you've got a lot of followers, 115,000, and to see how people interact with what you're saying compared to how when you have 900 followers. So that's interesting. But the thing that I've learned from both accounts is that Twitter just sucks, and I'm not sure it was ever that great. It just is like a very vapid place. Like occasionally there are people on there who are real journalists, and like Chudley was doing journalism, and he was also doing countering some of the negative elements of libs of TikTok. But people like that are few and far between. It's mostly just noise, and it's if you're like a person who has some degree of neurodivergence, that type of noise just drives you crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Lamp. I am on Instagram. Justin also urged me to go there. We do collaborations there. Instagram is good. It's set up for collaboration, so that's why Justin said that we should be there. His account is fairly big over there, but I haven't been on there for a long time. I don't check Instagram either. Like I said, I'd never signed up for Facebook intentionally. So when Instagram came along, I wasn't really interested. And it's fascinating to me because I've always been an early adopter of like technology as far as connecting to other people. Like Toasted said, BBSs were like a thing for me. And when multi-line BBSs came out, when there were like places you could go and you'd had 16 channels of chat, that was like revolutionary. It was so fun. I love that. But then when it seems like I guess maybe when people got phones and then everybody got on the internet, that's kind of what ruined the internet for me, is because
there's no longer novel in your secret little playground that only you knew how to get to.
Yeah, I mean, there's part of that, but there's also part of like just putting phones in the hands of people who just want to be cruel or say stupid things, makes the world a worse place. So 2020, that was that because of Cambridge Analytica? I wish I could get that's the thing we were talking about, trying to get people around you to make good decisions and stop doing bad things. I wish I could get wish I could get people off of Facebook and stop using Amazon products. Like the defense contractor husband that was in my family for a while, his family was all against like any of these surveillance tech, which is like something I actually agree with, like having a Alexa listening to you. But my sister is just very casual. Oh, here's the Alexa in our living room, and now it's like even worse, where your TV is listening to you. So, Cambridge Analytica was 2016-17. Yeah, you're right. That was the first Trump election. So I was just wondering if that had anything to do with it. But yeah, Facebook. Are you on Facebook? You said you were Chubby Walrus on Facebook.
Oh yeah, but I
you lost the account. You lost.
No, it's still there. Like I looked at it, it's still there, but it's just I haven't logged in. And
I didn't even know. Like when I was looking at Facebook, probably ages. You had to use like your real name, and then there was some degree of authentication at the time. It's been so long.
I can't even remember. I remember it when there was like pre-timeline. Like I remember that's pretty much its heyday for me. Was trying to find girls in college, and then that stopped serving that purpose because I long graduated. Yeah.
So you were using it for Zuckerberg's intended purpose.
Oh, 100%. Like, what the hell? Like, if you're a horny college kid, how do you find all the girls on campus?
It was exactly like Rate My Face. Do you remember Rate My Face?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't called Rate My Face. It was something else. But I know what you mean. Hotornot.com was.
Hotornot.com. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
The heyday of the internet.
Oh, man. Oh, the good old days when you used to have to dial up to the internet.
I think I've dated myself by telling you I dialed into the internet using a 300 baud modem in which you had to unplug the phone hand. It wasn't like in war games, you know how they had the acoustic modems where you set the phone into the acoustic thing. It was where you had to unplug the phone cable and then plug it into a RJ11 jack.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how like all the my 56K modem.
You had to unplug the headset. You had to unplug the handset. You couldn't wire it into, because the wiring for the handset is different than the wiring from the actual line. You would know this if you were a freaker.
I wish I was better at hardware and electronics. I really wish I was more savvy like that. That shit seems like voodoo to me. Like magnets and electronics and relays. I'm like, my God, this is magic shit over here. Yeah. Magnets are like the closest thing to magic.
Are you talking? Are you like quoting ICP now?
No. if I am, it's coincidental.
Do you know the song, the Magnet song by Insane Clown Posse?
I don't think so. No, this is like an ancient primordial thought of like 7-year-old Brian playing around with a magnet and like, why is the TV turning green?
There's an entire song about magnets and how do they work. So we'll have to. I don't want to play it on stream and get further demonetized.
Oh yeah, you'll have to start paying them.
A Human says, haven't willingly, knowingly used one of their products. Had Oculus delete my account before the meta terms came into effect. I've been deeply suspicious of Facebook and anything that looks like it from data. Yeah, for sure, because that's all Facebook is. It's just harvesting your data. I mean, that's just their clear business model. I actually bought what did I buy? I bought one of the headsets just because it was on sale Black Friday. I probably shouldn't have, but I actually hadn't done VR since the Nintendo's Virtual Boy, which isn't VR.
Oh, that's headache inducing. That's all that was.
Yeah.
So I do have an Oculus and I very much enjoy it. But yeah, I don't use it. I only use it for one application. I use it for this boxing app, like this boxing game, because it is the best workout. Like, because it literally, I feel like I get put into a fight or fight instinct where it's like I have to do this. Like, so the whole like motivating yourself to exercise and care about reps goes away because you're like, I'm fighting for my life here.
So. Lamp said you had I had a Virtual Boy too. I like
you owned it?
Yeah, I'm old enough.
Wasn't there only like 2 games for it? Like
no, I can Lamp says that I think the ICP song is called Miracles, if you want to look that one up later on. Virtual Boy, yeah, with the red screen. I had so when the Virtual Boy came out, it like instantly flopped, and then like Blockbuster was selling them in like a custom case for like $99, and it was like a $400 system at the time. So everybody was buying them from Blockbuster for $99. Mario Tennis on, or was it? I don't know if it was called Mario Tennis, but Tennis on the Virtual Boy was good. The boxing game on the Virtual Boy was also good. Teleroboxer or something like that. So I wish I had actually I wish I had all the classic games. I had like a Neo Geo because I worked at a video game store. I was like a manager of a video game store. So I had all the classic systems. And then when I met Incubator, we started making music, and I thought video games were uncool. So I sold my entire collection of video games, including like 6 arcade machines. I had a Star Trek strategic simulation sit down with the vector graphics. Have you ever seen that?
I have no. That's an arcade game.
I had an arcade game in my living room when I met Incubator.
I want to Google this because that sounds like I don't even.
Star Trek strategic simulations, sit down, and it's made by Sega. So I had this thing in my living room.
That sounds like it's like a D&D campaign, and like, how is this going to be like?
No, it was a cool game. So.
Oh, so you're like, okay, I see it.
So I had a bunch of other games arcade machines. I had like a Gauntlet 2 machine and Wizard of War. I had a bunch of arcade machines, and when we met, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do music. So I traded all my arcade machines for a Roland synthesizer, Roland JD8. Look up the synthesizer, Roland JD800 synthesizer. It was when they didn't have analog synthesizers had stopped being made, and they were making these machines to kind of emulate the sound of analog synthesizers. So it just has all these knobs, and it's like a piece of futuristic hardware.
I feel like you must have also regained a lot of physical space in your house, getting rid of all of that and getting just a thing instead. Like, I'm like, where did you fit all of that? Like,
that's true. And I was also operating my like business because I had an eBay business. You mentioned selling MacBooks. I was repairing. I would buy. I don't know if they were called MacBooks at the time. They were called iBooks at the time. And PowerBooks. They had the iBook and the PowerBook.
Yes.
And both of them were like really shitty to repair. The PowerBook, the titanium PowerBooks, they just, I guess it's that way now. They glue the LCD in, so if somebody cracks their LCD, you got to replace the whole thing rather than being able to just replace the LCD. So those were the times. And I was talking about the TurboGrafx. I had the TurboGrafx CD because R-Type was like my favorite game, like growing up. Classic.
Yeah,
I'm a fake gamer too, and Brian is the real deal. Brian is a real gamer, and sometime we're gonna stream some real games like real game streamers do, rather than just pretend that we're gamers.
I've thought about streaming games on this too, and I always just want to go straight. I don't know what this. Maybe this is speaking to my deeper personality. I always just want to go like immediate troll games. Like I would just do like a programming game, like a Python programming game, and make chat struggle. Like my idea of like trying to ask Justin for help about a programming game just seemed really amusing to me because I like trying to help him find his words. He'd be like,
Don't be mean to Justin. I was like,
hey, he did it to that person who lived in their car on Twitter. I gotta get him back. Carmen goes around, comes around.
That's how like after college, that's what I ended up doing because my philosophy degree didn't get me a job in real life, so I just started selling video games and musical gear on eBay. I still occasionally do, but it's harder to do anything these days because of the margins, and so it's still more profitable than having a Patreon though. So at least for me, I mean, I guess there are other Patreons that make lots of money, but
so I just to clarify, I never sold the PowerBooks or the MacBooks. That was my roommate at the time, and I wanted to use his MacBooks to make a Bitcoin mining net. That's what I wanted to do. I was employed. I had a good old corporate job at the time. I didn't need that. So no, but yeah, the only things I sold on eBay, I never sold physical goods on eBay.
there was this game called Ragnarok Online, and I used to bot the game and sell the in-game currency on eBay, and I made like a good amount of money in college. That paid for all I could afford beer and pizza. It was great.
Before that, it was Ultima Online. People were selling actual houses and properties in Ultima Online on eBay.
Yeah, I didn't get into the Ultima Online for some reason. I don't think I had cable internet before that, so like I couldn't actually bot the games effectively yet. Yeah.
Did you
tried Diablo 2 for a little while for that? I had Pindle bots, but that wasn't profitable enough. The market was saturated by the time I got into it.
There's a video about an entire country in which I don't know if maybe it was Ragnarok, where people were able to make more money playing the game than they could.
I think we had this conversation about WoW. Like, I feel like the in-game currency in World of Warcraft when it came out was like enough that people would. Yeah, I don't know. I'd always run the Chinese.
Steve Bannon started up a gold farm in China where they were farming for gold and then selling the gold on eBay. And then it's funny how, like, at the time, like, I'm a hardcore gamer. Like, I don't like pay to win at all. If anything is remotely pay to win, I'm just like, that's garbage.
Yep.
And World of Warcraft was like that. You would get banned if they found out you're buying gold. And if you were like in one of the raiding guilds and people found out that you were getting your shit from, buying it on eBay or whatever, you were like frowned upon. Yeah. Whereas like now all the games are like all you buy your gear. It's weird times.
So. Lamp has an eBay business, or used to, selling toys and video games. Nice.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder to do it now, because there's also a lot of fraud on eBay, maybe less so than they used to be. There was a point in time where eBay was being run by Meg Whitman, and it was being run like in a completely libertarian way that they didn't get involved in the transactions between the buyer and seller. So like there was a period of time where people would post a picture of like a PlayStation 2, and then somebody would buy it, and then they're like, oh, it was the picture, you bought a picture of a PlayStation 2. And then eBay would not get involved. And they're like, well, caveat emptor. And eBay did this for so long that they destroyed their reputation. It was not considered a safe place to buy. And then as Amazon started growing and getting away from books, they started to decide they needed more consumer protections. 2007 to 2016. My eBay account is dated 1996. I got started like
nice,
like a year after, because I was working at an internet company at the time, and somebody had talked about buying something there, and so I was like, oh, this is a cool little site.
Damn, I didn't realize eBay was older than Amazon. I guess that makes sense though. But yeah, shit, eBay's old.
Yeah. And there was like it's interesting because when Amazon got started, it was just books, wasn't it? They didn't have all of
it was all just books, and they were like the good guys because they were like, your college bookstores go so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Amazon.
And now they're just like,
hyper global mega corporation of doom.
I can't believe anybody would ever like take a job at that place.
Tell me about it. You'd have to be a complete masochist, have no moral ethics whatsoever. Let's go read about our leadership principles over here.
All right. Well, I think we're actually approaching hour 3 here, so I think that I need
time to call it.
Yeah, I think I need to get something to eat. I'm getting run down, and also have to join the family. So, but right, thank you, Lamp, for sticking around. Thank you, Lamp, for joining our Discord, and I'm looking forward to more conversations. And I'm sure that our community is made better by your presence. And thank you, A Human, as always. And even though you're one of the 4 people I suspect of being part of the deep state. Toasted Zergling here. I'm pretty sure he is. He is, especially after this conversation about being recruited and having the time to join me on stream and being enthusiastic about being my handler. I'm absolutely positive.
And getting closer to incubator, getting more details. Yes. I'm working it. Yeah.
No, thank you, Lamp, and thanks everybody else. Turtle Time, everybody else in the chat. Not Steve, of course. Not Steve is probably the most important person at this point. Not Steve. Who else was here? We had Tomcat. Justin was here. So thank you, Justin, and the Reductio as always. Check out the Reductio. So thanks everybody. I'm going to work on some ending credits here too. I just haven't gotten around to ending credits. I want to make this show as goofy as possible. So I'm rather than awkward as possible, rather than awkward and embarrassing, I'm going to shoot for goofy, funny, and hopefully we improve it every week. So
do you think we gained or lost a subscriber from this stream?
Here's how funny this is. I lost a subscriber for making the commercial for this for the stream. I lost a subscriber for that. So it'll be exciting to see. And also, who knows, this Kristi Noem video, since I premiered it here, I got to post it to YouTube. Depending on how it plays out, it might be too dark for people, but the other Kristi Noem videos I made were pretty dark and they took off. They got 100,000 views. So we might get some people from that. And if so, they're probably the right kind of people too, because they appreciate dark humor. So, and thank you. Yeah, I gotta thank you most of all, Toasted Zergling, for sticking. You were here. You were my star player. You were my only. You were my only player until Justin came on. And Justin didn't even come up dressed up and ready to get on the field. So that shows you how seriously he's taking this. So. Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Bye-bye. See you.